like, regardless of what you feel, Trump is politically fucking retarded. Like, he picks way too many fights. He can't focus on anything. He doesn't know how to get, like, PR wins. The big issue that I have is that when the left, like, fights against him, like, ICE is important. Like, a border is important. Having, like, an actual immigration policy where we know who's in the country, like, these are important things. And because
it's so progressive. Like, he leaves an immigrant, like,
Trump is so fucking unhinged. Like, I see where people are coming from.
Okay, guys, we are live. We are at Student Action Summit. We got Destiny and Myron here today. Have a little friendly conversation.
Oh, yeah, man. Good to see you, bro.
Hey, good to see you. It's been a while. Glad to reunite you guys. I know you guys.
I think I'm probably the only conservative that Destiny doesn't hate.
Yeah? Is that true?
That I don't hate?
Yeah.
I hate a lot of people. It's hard to say. It's hard to keep track of them all these days, so, you know.
We'll see after the debate today if he hates you or not. Israel.
This is like what? Like our 5th or 6th time now? Yeah. So, no, man, we've always been cordial.
Let's do Israel-Palestine. Let's start off with positions, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, you want to give your position first, or?
Yeah, what can we be a little bit more specific?
I guess the recent,
like your position on, I guess, Israel-Palestine in general, or
should we talk about the recent events or just overall?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could start with my like overall position, and then we can go into specificities. I guess with maybe the last conflict that one happened.
I mean, there's like big parts of you've got the recent war, whether it's a genocide. You've got is Israel? Do they have a right to exist as like a nation of Jewish people? You've got U.S. and Israel entanglement. Like, where do you want to?
Okay, I guess I'll kind of come from the position. I think we should stop all aid to Israel from the United States. My position is I don't think we should be giving them aid. And there's a multitude of reasons for that, but that's my position in general is we should not be giving any more foreign aid to Israel.
Okay, my position would be I think that the Middle East region is still probably an important region to have influence over.
Okay.
For purposes of like oil shipment and oil refining and also for trade through the Suez Canal. So I feel like having a lot of influence in that region is important. And if we leave, then we're kind of just giving it up to somebody else.
Okay. Good points. I would say with the Suez Canal, we kind of already have that under control because we've basically bribed Egypt by, you know, giving them a lot of aid, you know, to play nice with Israel. And then as far as, you know, maintaining security in the region, we're cool with pretty much everybody else. Saudi Arabia, Qatar, the countries that have some real influence, especially Saudi Arabia. So I would say, you know, I think Israel's hurt us quite a bit in the region versus assist us. I know, you know, people say, oh, well, they're our greatest ally or whatever. I think doesn't have to be Israel. I think there's other Middle Eastern countries that we can work with that wouldn't create as much of a tumultuous situation than we have in the Middle East. Can I have a pen and paper too, if that's cool?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see who would, like, you mentioned that we're cool with like Saudi Arabia and other countries in Egypt as well. I think a lot of that is a function of probably Israel's strength. For better or for worse, over the past 6 months, they have managed to fuck up basically every other regional opponent. And I think that even though publicly they have to pay lip service to, you know, chastising Israel over the Palestinian issue, Saudi Arabia and everybody else is happy to watch Iran basically get this shit pushed in. The people in Lebanon aren't big fans of Hezbollah. They're happy to watch their shit get pushed in. Yemen is perpetually fucked, so no one anywhere cares about what's going on there. So I feel like even though right now, obviously we made nice with Egypt and Israel so that they would make nice with each other, if we were to extricate from there and then pull all of our support out, I see like the possibility of like a Russia or a China coming in and then playing nice with them. And then obviously the incentives change dramatically. And I would be worried about losing that, influence there.
Okay. I see your position. I think going back to, you said that Israel being a powerhouse there. I don't think they are as much as you think. It's, you know, it's either we destabilize other countries or we bribe them, right? So like with Jordan and Egypt, we pay them quite a bit of money to play nice with Israel, right? Because that saves us money in the long run because at least the two countries on their border on the south and on the west, you know, we don't have to worry about them like invading and attacking them. Obviously, we've got the problems in the north with Lebanon. But I do think a big part of the reason why we have these alliances is really more for us to, you know, pay these people off so they don't attack Israel. Whereas like, if Israel wasn't there, we wouldn't have to, you know, be bribing these guys to give them money so they don't attack Israel. So it's either we destabilize and destroy them or we bribe them with money like we did with Jordan and
I mean, to be fair, those we call them bribes, but that came after Israel won basically 4 wars against all of these countries.
With our aid.
Not until 73. Like Israel won 48 basically on their own. They the Suez Crisis in 56 they won on their own. In 67
they kind of lost the Suez Canal crisis, though. They kind of got ran out.
No, absolutely not.
The Suez Canal crisis?
Absolutely
The U.S. told them you got to leave.
Exactly. They got run out. The U.S. told them to fuck off.
Yeah,
they didn't. It's not because Egypt beat them. Nasser and Egypt would try to claim later on that they did, but it's because the U.S. told them like, hey, you guys are
yeah. Because
but I'm saying that like they had the military might. They beat everybody around them. Like
they had France and they had the U.K. with them as well, and they you know kind of came in.
They were getting $3 billion yearly drops like they get now from the United States.
Well, yeah, but and that's the thing. Like
but also like all the Arab states were getting helped by the Soviet Union and everything too. Like they were constantly resupplying these guys because they had an interest there.
Well, so with the Suez Canal crisis, right? Like we, obviously this was a better time because back then we didn't really have a side as much, right? Eisenhower told them, get the hell out of there or else there's going to be some serious problems. They got out of there. And I would say the Suez Canal crisis created the nuclear arms race because after Israel had that embarrassing situation, they went ahead and, got the nuclear bomb. They have it illegally, which I find kind of hilarious that they try to tell Iran that they can't have nukes when they have an illegal nuclear program.
Yeah, but I mean, if you ask anybody in the world, who would you rather have nukes, Israel or Iran? Like, even Persians, even the Iranian people are gonna be like, yeah, probably better with Israel.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, we also said that, North Korea can't have nuclear weapons, but what ended up happening? Trump met with him. They shook hands. He went into North Korea. Nuclear weapons are deterrent. I think they create quite a bit of peace.
They can. The only issue is North Korea doesn't really do like the proxy terrorism like Iran does, with like Hezbollah, with the Houthis, with Hamas. And I think North Korea is kept on a short leash because China's right there, and China doesn't want to see North Korea fuck around because it's going to reflect poorly on them. Iran doesn't really have the same, I think, kind of leash on them.
Sure, but my position is that like nuclear weapons like deter people, and my thing is here's my thing. I think every country should be able to exercise sovereignty and the ability to protect themselves. If Israel's going to run an illegal nuclear program, then Iran, as one of their adversaries, I see why they're doing what they're doing. And I will say that, our assistance of Israel has actually made the nuclear problem worse, right? We had the nuclear deal, which I think was, something that the Obama administration actually did well. And we pulled out of it. And that created a lot of problems for us. And
I definitely agree with that. Trump did pull out of it. It was really bad.
It was look, you know me.
Sure.
I like Trump, but I will criticize him when he makes mistakes, and that was a fatal flaw. And I think that's kind of led to the bad foreign policy that we have now. I think it's one of the biggest mistakes he made foreign policy-wise. And, that was the Israel lobby, right?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like at the end of the day, I think we backed the right horse. I mean, Saddam Hussein is out. I mean, Iraq is like chugging along. Assad is out. Syria is heading in a direction that's probably going to be markedly more pro-West and more anti-Russia. The only player left is really Iran. Somehow Israel, through the fucking gift of God or whatever, has killed like every single adversarial military leader and everything else over the past 6 months.
Which causes us problems as well.
I mean,
and the 7-3 war that you mentioned before, how they won that one, like they won that one by blackmailing us with bombing the Arab world with a nuclear bomb.
Yeah, they
Golden
definitely
War, basically.
Yeah, I heard the third temple has fallen. I think from Dosha. Yeah. No,
we
yeah,
can
for
agree
sure.
on that.
But I'm just saying that at the end of the day, like Saudi Arabia, most of the Gulf states are happy to have Israel as a friend versus Iran, who's going to be competing with them, blowing shit up constantly. Like they don't like those people very much. You've got like everybody would just prefer to see a strong Israel in the region versus a strong Iran in the region, who's like causes trouble for everybody.
Yeah. So when it comes to Saudi Arabia, I actually agree with you on that. I've said this forever that like the Gulf states are cucks for Israel. They just secretly do things behind the scenes. They just don't do it publicly. Yeah, because obviously they would be looked at poorly. But I also do think that a big reason why these Gulf states play so nicely is because the United States backs Israel. So in other words, Israel wouldn't be doing the things that they do and having the reckless foreign policy that they do, assassinating scientists and doing all the things they do all across the Middle East, if it wasn't for us backing them. And I think by us backing them, it's created us quite a bit of problems here where, look, I'm critical of Islam too. I know that you're extremely critical of Islam. I grew up Muslim, and I even say all the time that Islam isn't compatible with the first world country, America.
I don't believe that. I don't think I'm not.
It's not compatible with America.
I'm more critical with Islam than I am with Christianity or any other religion.
Sure. You're critical of all, but I know that like Islam, you talked about. Well, I don't know if it was you, but I know other people have said that it's not compatible with the first world democracy.
Okay, probably just me because I downplay. I don't think religion has much to do with like the Middle Eastern stuff for the past like 50 years. So a lot of people don't like that take.
It does play a lot into it. But the point I'm trying to make is that I don't think they hate us because we're Americans is what I'm trying to get at here. I think,
Iran?
Well, the Middle East in general, the entire Middle East.
Oh, no, they got plenty of good reasons to not like us.
Yeah, but it's because of a lot of our interventionist foreign policy, which is to benefit Israel. So my argument is simply almost every, terrorist attack that we've had to endure has been because of our really bad foreign policy to benefit Israel. And I just don't see the benefit there for us as the United States.
We don't see the benefit, but we don't see the detriment if we would have lost there, right? Like imagine all of those states were hostile to us. What would OPEC?
I don't think they would be, man.
Why not?
So I think if we didn't have this like crazy interventionist foreign policy at the benefit of Israel, I don't think they would hate us like that, man. You could look at these Gulf states that have money. These other Arab countries would probably been able to have stable economies, utilize their oil and their other resources, have some money. And
Are we assuming if Israel didn't exist? Or because I would say if Israel wasn't there at all, not to make some argument on whether we'd kill all the Jews or whatever, let's say Israel wasn't there at all.
Yeah.
I feel like they would all just be fighting each other because I feel like prior to Israel being there kind of gave them a central enemy to kind of fight for a while. But prior to that, when Britain was carving up after World War I, you had the Mandate, you had the Turkish Revolution, you had Egypt, one of their own state, everybody kind of had their own state and people were kind of vying for influence and You know, like it
Yeah,
sounds like
you
you know a
can
bit
make that
about
argument.
Like, yeah, so like I don't know
I've
these
always
guys
said,
have ever.
I've always been critical with you know the Arab world. Like they need dictators and monarchs for a reason, right?
Sure.
But I do think, as far as like us and our relationship with them, I don't think it would be as bad as it is if it weren't for all of our interventionism on behalf of Israel.
Let's say that like Iran falls tomorrow, and let's
Okay.
say it's not. Let's say it's replaced by something stable-ish, right? Or it's not. It doesn't like.
Who do you think won? Oh, this could be the next topic. I think that our move into Iran, I think it was an L for us. I think the United States and Israel took a L with that conflict. I don't know what your position is if you want to.
I'm a major proponent of not having a nuclear armed Iran, so I was okay with it.
Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, like, I don't like the way that we got there, though, right? I would say that exiting the nuclear deal was really bad.
Yeah.
Israel loved that, and Saudi Arabia loved that because they fucking hated us when we signed that nuclear deal with Iran.
Yeah.
And then
Well,
bombing.
Saudi Arabia, they're cool with Iran now. They've opened back diplomatic relations. They're cool now.
I mean, they have, yeah, but I mean, like, these guys are diametrically opposed to each other in terms of interest. Like, Iran backs the Houthis a lot. Saudi Arabia tried for like 3 years to bomb and get rid of all of them. They
Yeah.
wouldn't, like, I don't think they.
Yeah, people don't talk about how Saudi Arabia has been killing Yemenis for years, and you know it's literally
a lot, yeah.
terrible.
So
And I've been critical of the Saudi Arabian government for that too.
yeah, I guess I'm thinking like if Iran were to fall
Yep.
and that whole region were to be like friendly-ish basically to the United States, that just seems like a really good state of affairs for us. Because aside from Iran, like who would give us trouble there?
Well, I think the only reason they give us trouble is because of our foreign policy, right? So like I think it's better to just like not give Israel all this aid and
But
let
we're
them
like, if we're
hash it
this
out over
close to
there.
having like a whole region being friendly towards us, but there's like an issue still with Iran. You think we should just exit completely and risk losing the entire region to Russia, China, India?
No, I see your perspective. What I'm trying to say is like the Arab world really doesn't like us. Like, so, okay, I'll give you an example. So like when Biden was in, right, like Saudi Arabia was flirting with BRICS, right? And it took Trump going over there, right, playing off like, I'm not friends with Netanyahu, went over there, met with, the leader of Syria, al-Shara, aka former Al-Qaeda guy, we'll lift the sanction off you. And then we'll meet with we'll go, they give him the jet or whatever. Like, we almost lost Saudi Arabia to BRICS. And my argument, my bottom line is that, like, and I think you would agree with this, Saudi Arabia just does what's best for Saudi Arabia. Like,
sure,
whoever,
but I mean, like, who would you rather have access to? The United States, who's like signaled that they're going to have a strong interventionalist policy, or like when it comes to defending your interests, or somebody like Russia, when Putin sits by and watches Gaddafi getting raped by bayonets, or sits by and watches Assad's regime completely and totally collapse, or watches, Syria be involved in a civil war for 10 years, or watches Iran crumble because Russia can't handle its own war right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it feels like the U.S. is a good ally to have in your corner. And then we could defend and ensure trade. Like, let's say like the Houthis were up to their, shenanigans, and it wasn't the U.S. that was interested in that region. Let's say it was fucking China or Russia. Like, who's to say that the Suez would have ever opened again? Like, would they have had the capability to even send ships down there to? Does Russia even have a fleet anymore that they could send?
They would have. They would have. But my bottom line is that like the Saudis and a lot of these Muslim countries or these Arab countries, they already don't like us because of our policy, right? Like.
I disagree. I feel like they like us quite a bit. I think they're right. I think that's why most of them, like, people like tried to hype up that Abraham Accord shit, but I think that like most countries are like, listen, the fighting shit is gay. Let's just like move on and like build up and make economies.
Yeah, but the Abraham Accords like kind of led to like all of these problems. Like it was one of the reasons why we had the altercation that we had. But to go back real quick to the Iran thing, so I think it was a monumental failure. And I'll give you my position real quick, and you can tell me what you think. The reason why I think it was a monumental failure is because unless you affect regime change, everything else was a waste of time. And I would argue that we made them stronger by intervening, because what ended up happening was they survived the assassinations with their generals. They survived the precise attacks with the nuclear scientists. They did. Yeah. They did. But the Ayatollah's still alive. They still have their military intact to a degree. Yes, they were weakened. Yes, Mossad did a fantastic operation getting behind enemy lines and destroying air defense and jamming radars. Fantastic. But they did all that and, showed their cards, and they couldn't effectuate the regime change because they were hoping that by them, doing all this, it would make the Baloks or one of these other, rebel groups say, let's go in and like take over. And they didn't do it. Actually, the opposite happened. It united the country. The people that were critical of the theocracy, right, were like, you know what? We need to get behind the government because, yes, we don't like the Ayatollah, but we hate Israel even more. So like when they had these funeral processions, like there was like thousands of people out there like saying, yes, yes, yes. So like it was an L for us because we actually ignited their nationalism. And then like the other problem also is like and I got this from like an insider that like understands Iranian politics. I didn't know this. Like in their government, right? There's like the reformists, which would be like their Democrats, and then their conservatives, their Republicans. And there was a lot of fighting in between, like, hey, diplomacy with the West or no diplomacy. And basically what happened was when Israel attacked with Operation Rising Lions, they said, you know what? Fuck it. we're going to hit them hard. And then they just started hitting Tel Aviv super hard. That's why we saw, them being able to attack a lot of strategic sites, hit their intel bases. And obviously Israel withheld this because they didn't want anyone to know that they were being hit. But it's coming out now that they are actually hit pretty hard. Tel Aviv got destroyed. Not all the way, but it got significantly damaged.
Definitely not. There were a couple of missiles that fell, but not significantly damaged.
Oh, dude, they did. I'm telling you, there was a ban on, and I'll show you after the debate. Like, and that's by design. Like, Western media and Israeli media purposely made sure any like journalists that took pictures or document anything, there was a chance of them going to jail because they didn't want Iranian intelligence to get precise coordinates of where they were being hit, for obviously OPSEC reasons. Then on top of that, we know Israel, there was
make requests so that people don't like report on like where
they also didn't want pandemonium too. Two main reasons.
Yeah, but like it's Tel Aviv. It's a first world country. Everybody's got a cell phone. Like you're never hiding.
Yeah, of course. And people did put it out. Like there's still video, but I'm saying like like actual journalists, they were getting in trouble for it.
I don't disagree with this idea that we're making.
Oh, and just to finish real quick. To finish my position. So we united the country. The regime is still in power. All we've done is embolden them to get the nuclear weapons even more so now because they're like, now we need a nuclear bomb, right? They kicked IAEA out, which the IAEA,
International Atomic Energy Association.
Yeah, the long story short, they were supplying us with information about their nuclear capabilities. Now they're gone. The last person actually just left today from Iran. They kicked them out. So we have no oversight of their nuclear program. And me and you both agree that leaving a nuclear deal was absolutely stupid. So now we have nothing. And I think that if anything, since we didn't get rid of the regime and they've mastered the cycle, the centrifuge cycle, they're going to get another nuclear bomb. And let's assume we go off what Trump and Hegseth said, 1 to 2 years behind. Well, so what? The regime is there. They have the capability to build another nuclear bomb is my position. So I think that us intervening, we spent billions of dollars to help defend Israel, to bomb their nuclear facilities, and they're just going to rebuild it. That's my position. When it comes to an overall comprehensive view of what the Middle East should look like and what our approach to Iran should be, I'm not going to argue that our view right now is incomprehensible. One of my biggest complaints about Trump is I don't think he's a mind for politics or foreign affairs or anything. I don't think he has like an overall, like if you ask Trump, like, what do you think the Middle East should look like? He'd probably just draw like an Israeli flag over every country or something. Like, you guys are a fucking idiot when it comes to that. So like our overall approach, our overall approach is definitely like incoherent. But given a list of bad options, I would say Iran not having access to nuclear weapons is something that not only we prefer, but every single actor in the region would prefer. It's just very scary when you've got an actor that it takes so much like overt effort to fuck with other countries. Whether it's expeditionary forces in Iraq, whether it's Hezbollah in Syria and obviously in Lebanon, whether it's Hamas, whether it's the Houthis, like they have their fingers in so many different things. And then for them to be completely and totally safe from any attack now, because Israel can't really attack them if they have a nuclear weapon, things get way more weird at that point. And I think any world where they don't have a nuclear weapon is beneficial to the stability of the region, the stability of the planet, and literally every interest that we have in the region, both country interest and like trade and oil and everything else. So I would agree with you that them having a nuclear weapon is bad. I actually agree with you.
I will say that you keep arguing like on their perspective. If I was Iran, I would be barreling towards a nuclear weapon. So I understand their perspective. Ever since Syria fell, I think that was a huge signal to Iran where it's like, okay, well, fuck. Especially because, and I'm not a fan of anything happening right now, but like Trump did them kind of dirty because I'm pretty sure that attack from Israel came it was like 2 or 1 day after the.
It was right before. They hit him on like a Thursday or Friday. It was supposed to be Sunday. Yeah.
And it was like the problem.
Really bad diplomacy.
Yeah, but I don't even know if this country does diplomacy right now. I don't know. We're 90 days, 90 trade deals. We have 0 so far. Like everything foreign affairs wise is fucked. So I think that Iran has every incentive right now to continue towards.
And I think we push them that way. Because I agree with you that them having a nuclear weapon is bad. But I think like. We had the ability to have control of it and have them,
but we don't have the leadership for right now. But the one thing that we have to counterbalance is like, so I fully believe that Israeli and U.S. interest is aligned in a lot of ways. I know you might not agree with that, but
they are in many ways.
But Israel also has interests that are
absolutely far more aggressive.
Yes, they're not aligned with the United States. So, for instance, the United States, regardless of what any retard says, the United States does not want regime change in Iran. Israel absolutely wants regime change in Iran.
I think they would be okay with it, but they're not willing to put boots on our ground to effectuate it.
We would be okay with it insofar as like maybe because Israel wants it, but the reality is like a collapse in Iran could lead to all sorts of catastrophic. It could lead over into Iraq, into Afghanistan.
And I would argue the base, like saying like no fucking wars, like that. I think that stalled his like decision making. Like, oh man, I need more time. I think he would have been way more into this conflict if the base didn't rebel so bad. Because that was
because Israel is full steam ahead on that. If the U.S. is like regime change, Israel's like we've already got like 5,000 Mossad in place to give us a signal.
That's why Mike Waltz got fired because he wanted to have a plan where they literally put boots on the ground and they were going to send special forces into these nuclear facilities and really like try to get shit going.
Sure.
But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think it was a failure. On my end, I think from a U.S.-Israeli position, it was a failure because our goal was like, we don't want them to have nuclear weapons. We emboldened them and we nationalized them where they're patriots.
At the very
and they
least,
want to
I
do
would
it.
push them off it, right? Let's say, do you think that the world is a better place if Iran starts to have nuclear weapons in a month or in 2 weeks?
No, it'll create problems. But,
Okay.
but I'm arguing, my position isn't that them having nukes is bad. I think them having
So
nukes
isn't
is
that
bad.
having nukes in if having nukes in 2
But
weeks
we-
would be really
we-
bad? Isn't
we did
pushing it
that.
like 6 months? Isn't that? Well, I know we did in the past, but now we have to work with what we have now.
Yeah.
Do you think them having nukes in 2 weeks is better than them having nukes maybe 6 to 12 months from now?
I think they can get them faster.
Well,
Now.
I mean, a lot of their stockpiles have been blown up. A lot of their centrifuges have been blown up. Like, it's going to be.
A lot of the uranium got out. Multiple reputable sources are saying around 400 kilos was snuck out.
Okay.
I would not be surprised if they didn't have other clandestine operations going on, knowing that they were going to get hit. I mean, their 3 main nuclear facilities, the whole world knew about it. I would
Yeah.
be shocked if they didn't have
I feel
other
like
places.
I'd be more shocked if they were to hide them from all the infiltrated Mossad in their country. I felt like Israel would have known and told us.
Well, they just busted another ring today.
Sure.
The IRGC busted another ring today. So again, my thing is, I think our bad foreign policy has kind of led us down this road where it's like now they're saying
We have to
death
choose
to
between
America.
the worst options.
Let's
Yeah,
go
sure.
ahead and get nuclear weapons. Like we could have totally avoided this if we didn't have the nefarious influence of Israel saying we don't want a nuclear deal because they're going to build nuclear weapons anyway. It's the real reason is that Israel wants regime change and they want to be the hegemony.
Sure, but I would say the fault there is Trump because Israel didn't want the nuclear deal
I
we
would
signed
agree
under
with
Obama. So I mean, like,
Yeah, I would agree with you. I think him pulling out of the nuclear deal because of Israeli lobby pressure was a big fucking mistake. Huge. But like I think from our perspective, I think it was an L. I know you're saying, hey, we pushed it back. I think if anything, if we did push them back, their resolve is greater. They're definitely gonna get a nuclear weapon, and we've just made everything worse for everybody in the region.
Okay, I think we're
That's my position on it.
You two agree on a lot, it sounds like.
well.
Yeah, I mean, I still think we should cut. Do you think we should give aid to them?
Israel?
Yeah.
Yeah, to everybody in the region. I think it's a good region to be friendly with, and I
Okay.
would hate to see that region fall to somebody else's influence, especially when something has happened in the past several years where it feels like a lot of our enemies are having issues. Like I think Russia's running into a significant amount of issues. Watching Syria fall is good for the U.S. technically. So I mean, like I think that.
I honestly think if we cultivated Saudi Arabia, they'd be a better ally than Israel.
In all my historical reading and in all my current understanding of Saudi Arabia, I don't even know what Saudi Arabia does or like, well, like they have like a military supposedly, but like I don't know what they do. They've been
I'll
fighting
give you a real
Houthis
quick
for
my
years.
argument,
They
yeah.
don't fuck all. They have like, yeah, I don't know.
Sure, I'll give you my
Every
position.
war between Israel and the countries is like Saudi Arabia sends like 3.5 tanks and like 1 jet.
Yeah,
And sometimes we'll fly and land in
They
Egypt and stay
basically
there
have a weak
forever. It's-
military, but like we give them all their protection. But my position is, if we had cultivated a relationship with Saudi Arabia versus Israel, Saudi Arabia from a religious perspective, right? Mecca, Medina, very religious. Like they're kind of the leaders. That's why like them coming into the Abraham Accords would have created so many problems. It's actually one of the chief reasons why Hamas attacked, because Hamas knew if Saudi Arabia comes into the Abraham Accords, that's like the leader of the Muslim world. So it would have the Palestine question would have been answered. So that actually prompted it. So I think if we had
think the
cultivated
Abraham
that
Accords-
relationship, we would have been better off.
I mean, we have cultivated. We have a good relationship with Saudi Arabia. We've had for like 20 years, right? I
But-
think that the issue with the Abraham
Without
Accords
Israel.
was more without Israel.
Yeah, because I think Israel's been putting a lot of it's created a lot of diplomatic problems for us all across. And then like with what's going on in Gaza just makes us look worse in the international scene, right? And it's like we deal with all their problems, all their blowback because we're the ones funding them. So all the bad shit that they do, we have to eat it. And even when we tell them, hey, Netanyahu, don't do that, he does it anyway.
We definitely have an issue. Yeah, you need a leader with a lot of vision to solve the Palestinian issue with Israel. And I think the big reason for the Abraham Accords, why Hamas was emboldened after that, is because Trump basically furthered the Netanyahu goal of saying, "Fuck dealing with the Palestinians. We're just going to keep pushing it, off to the side." I think was a big thing.
Yeah, and they couldn't afford for Saudi Arabia to come in without answering that question, because that would have been they would have been cooked.
Yeah.
Now again, like obviously what went down on October 7th was horrible, but I do think it's very important to understand like why things happen and why bad foreign policy leads to these issues. And I think the only way that we're going to get peace in the Middle East, because okay, let's say Iran falls, there's going to be a new insurgent group, there's going to be more terrorists, they're going to come in. Until the Palestinians have a state, we're always going to have problems in that area. And with Netanyahu, he doesn't want a two-state solution. We know that he's destroyed the Oslo Accords on multiple occasions. He doesn't want them to have a state. So until we get one,
but it's the thing about Israel is like the people are realistic. Like you can compel him, you could force him to do things, but you have to have a U.S. leader that's actually like on board with.
Well, the way we'd have to do it is we'd have to literally make their aid contingent upon them playing nice with the
Exactly,
Palestinians.
yeah, and
But
then,
they
like,
would never do that. That's the problem.
That's why you need a leader to do it, right? Yeah.
See, if we weren't controlled, and I know you disagree with me on this, like if our foreign policy wasn't run by them, and we didn't have such Zionist control of American foreign policy, we'd be able to do it where it'd be like, look, you guys got to make peace with these guys. Otherwise, you're not getting aid anymore. But since we continue to give them weapons, they continue to have influence, they control our politicians, they have no incentive to make peace.
If they have so much control over us, then why did Obama sign that nuclear deal in the first place, though?
Well, good question. So he signed it, but he got heavily criticized. Netanyahu came here, shit on him, like in front of our own government. And he's the only other world leader that could do it. And then as soon as Obama got out, he lobbied. And Trump took it out. They put Iran on. That's another thing too. Like we put the IRGC on the terrorist watch list, the foreign terrorist list in 2019. Mike Pompeo. That created problems because then we put heavy sanctions on them. Like we had every ability to play nice with Iran and do diplomacy, but we fucked it up. And I would
Israel
agree with
doesn't have. I mean, like it's not. Well, I guess we disagree. Because I was gonna say like Israel can't make Trump like be their bitch. Like I don't think that they don't have that influence. They don't have the economy. They don't have. Okay. Yeah,
I think he is beholden to the Israeli lobby, and it really pisses me off because like the Adelsons gave him all this money. I mean,
but he doesn't need it. The guy's he had Elon Musk, the richest guy in the world. Like this guy could have literally gotten fundraised from anywhere in the world, and it would have been okay.
So the reason why he needed the money because he was facing all the legal cases, so he needed the money to run.
And he's got Trump coin and Melania coin. He doesn't need. I mean,
that was after.
I mean, he's got a fuck ton of money from that, right? He's got a lot of money from that. Legal cases aren't tens or hundreds.
Yeah, but he already won at that point. I'm talking about
his
before. I'm talking about before. Obviously, he had like 4 criminal cases,
like criminal cases. It's what I mean. Like
Hey, they get expensive. They get expensive.
Yeah, but I don't think he needed the Israeli money for that. I think that this guy was the most like popular politician in U.S. history. This guy got fundraised from $1 million.
Adelson is just one.
Sure.
Like there's a bunch of other donors that we don't know about that give him money that aren't under APAC that we don't know about that, hey, and then look, he got the tech bros in. Peter Thiel, Alice Karp, all these guys, the Palantir guys, these guys are like lifelong progressive Democrats. They all got under Trump bandwagon. Why? Because of Israel.
Because they were triggered by the woke shit.
Bill Ackman, all these guys.
Triggered by the woke shit.
Dude, no.
Do you think Elon Musk was controlled by Israel? Like this guy joined Trump, he bought X for Trump, and
he's
literally
thinking about it.
Well, no. So what I will say is that when he got X, right, and he started getting hit on, when he bought X, and then like people were like, they were taking a free speech crazy, and people were being, critical of Israel and talking about all these different things, like. People Media Matters wrote a hit piece on him, right? Saying like, oh, look, these anti-Semitic posts are put right next to your advertisers, blah, blah, blah. And he ended up suing them. But, they made him do the fucking ritual. He had to go to Auschwitz with, Ben Shapiro, put the hat on, the whole humiliation ritual. And then after that, he started playing ball. And then interestingly enough, Elon Musk, the only person that came to the U.S. that Elon left Texas to go visit was Netanyahu when he came here in, I think, late last year.
Yeah, but I mean, is that just because that's the only one who would meet with Elon Musk? Like, I feel like he's not a very popular guy. If we go on X right now, like this is like the neo-Nazi paradise platform at the moment. Okay, it's crazy out there. It's not like he cleaned up a whole bunch. I mean, the Media Matters hit piece was like, you can call it a hit piece, but it was legitimate. It was kind of weird that you could scroll through something where it's like some actual crazy.
Well, they were doing that on purpose.
Like
they were doing advertisements on purpose. Like they were like refreshing the page and like.
I understand. I've read the case, the complaint that they filed, and I know that Elon alleged that a lot of it was unfair. But I mean, like, you can create a new account on Twitter and you can scroll yourself and go and test it. Like, you'll see some crazy shit, like, right next to a sponsor. It was pretty fucking wild. Now, as of right now, I think most sponsors have kind of come back because the price of advertising got cheaper enough.
Yeah, and they cleaned it up, too. They did clean it up after that hit piece.
Cleaned it up?
They did, dude. They did. I got demonetized. I got
demonetized, too. I don't know.
Well.
But, yeah, I don't know. I just don't see... It's like an unfalsifiable... thing. Like, I think that there's plenty of reasons to explain why. I think a lot of old people in the U.S. fucking love Israel just because of the story, the Cold War, and everything else.
A lot of dumb boomers.
I don't think you need necessarily. I don't think you need a conspiracy to explain why Trump is such a huge fucking Israeli dick suck. And I think you see the younger generation is definitely not.
Like they're just starting to wake up to this stuff. But like, yeah, the boomer generation, the people that watch Sean Hannity and Fox News, whatever, they are. But like, my point is that I think our foreign policy is controlled by them, and we need to like stop being occupied by them. Because
like, if it was easy to buy somebody off, I mean, how many Arabs, Muslims are there? Like 2 billion?
Yeah.
There's got to be more money in that world to pay off a leader than however much.
Well, they have to register under FARA.
Well, sure, but I mean, it's like APAC is not like Israel. Or wait, you probably think
they're not Israel, but they're American, you know, a lot of times American Zionists that, you know, obviously believe in Israel.
Sure, but you can make the same thing in the U.S. with an Arab group if you wanted, or a Muslim group, or a Saudi Arabian group, or whatever.
Yeah, dude, but like, come on. I mean, we could talk about Epstein, for example, right? Like, do you think if Epstein was like, you know, Jeffrey Mohammed, that like we would be concealing the fact that he was, you know, an asset for a foreign intelligence service? No, the documents would have been declassified immediately.
Sure, but I don't think that would have been because like we're beholden to Israel. I think it's just because a lot of older Americans remember 9/11 and fucking hate Muslims and shit. It would be like, fuck this guy.
No, sure. But like, what the point is that like, you know, if Epstein was Muslim, those documents would be out. If he was an Arab, those documents would be out. Like, you know, but the fact that he was tied in with Israeli intelligence, like we still don't have the documents, we don't have anything. Oh, we're gonna declassify him. Didn't bring anything out. It took 60 years to get the
Epstein is
JFK
hard
documents.
The Epstein is hard. I truly believe. I don't think there is a book. There is no client list. I think that Epstein was a kind of a perverted dude. Had young people there. I don't think there's anything to be found from the Epstein stuff. So, I think that Trump played it up because they wanted it to be and because it looked good as like a hit piece. But like, I think that like the people that pushed this the hardest would have been the ones with most incentive to kill him, right? Epstein died in 2019 in a Trump federal prison, right? What was it? Acosta was a Department of Labor secretary who was the criminal attorney, I think, who got
U.S. attorney
or U.S. attorney.
He was the U.S. attorney out of Southern District of Florida.
Nice deal, so that he didn't have prison time for the first charges that he caught.
Yeah.
Like if you wanted to make like Epstein, obviously, if he was on video saying, "Oh, Joe Biden is my best friend of 10 years," like people would be losing their mind because it was Trump. Nobody even knows about the call that's like publicly available. Yeah, I don't know. The issue I have, I guess, sometimes is that like I can see a bunch of stuff that like I understand, like there's good explanations for it. And I'm like, is there anything that's happening where it's like I can't explain that without some kind of like foreign push?
So here's my thing. I actually agree with you that like people are way too hyped up on the client list or whatever. And actually, to be honest with you, I was talking with you about this. Where people really need to look is the CIA, because if he was actually a foreign agent for a foreign country, the CIA is going to have all that information. The FBI is strictly domestic. Like NSA, CIA, honestly, Tulsi Gabbard is the one that's going to have everything when it comes to Epstein, because people forget that there's a criminal case and there's also a classified high side. That's the stuff that people want to see. So my thing is, I think the fact that he is aligned with the Israeli government is a big reason why they're not showing us that, because that's what people really want to see. Is there a client list? Maybe. But my thing is, I'm more interested in who was he working for? Why was he collecting the information that he was collecting? And what was he actually doing when he was in the US? Like, what were his meetings like, etc.? Because I guarantee
to be fair,
they have that.
That kind of stuff will never be released, like ever.
But
Like
when
when
they said
stuff like that would never come out.
That's what they campaign on, and that's why people are so pissed off.
But that's like their issue.
Yeah.
I think one big issue the Trump admin is going to have, like in the first term, because Trump doesn't know how to do politics. He didn't know anything about like what do my cabinet members do or what do my agencies do. Now coming in, right? He's appointed absolute sycophants in every single cabinet position, and now he can't use those.
Yeah, he put loyalists instead of competent individuals.
So he can't use deep state excuses anymore, unless we're saying the deep state is even deeper than all the Trump control. And when you've got guys like Bongo Balls or whatever on Tim Pool saying, "I got a guy in the CIA who told me 100%," and now this guy is deputy of the FBI with Kash Patel or whatever, and they're like, "Oh shit, we actually have nothing. Nothing's going on here." And Tulsi Gabbard says nothing is going on, and Pam Bondi says nothing's going on. Like, at what point is it like
that has Tulsi Gabbard? Because that's who people really need to ask questions to. Because people forget like how the intelligence apparatus is, but she's the one that's going to have everything. She's going to have the high side stuff that people are actually interested in.
They say that, but like, what was the argument before? The argument, so Pam Bondi should theoretically have everything for the DOJ, but she's like, well, the Southern District of New York was hiding stuff from us. So is Tulsi Gabbard going to leave in 4 years and be like, actually, even though I was a director of National Intelligence, they were hiding stuff from me too? And it's like, fuck.
Well, the reason why I say her is because she's going to have access to all the classified stuff from the intelligence community, right? Like,
no, I understand theoretically, but I'm saying it feels like there's always a deeper state to point to once they're out of office. They're like, we couldn't get those files because somebody deep in this.
My bottom line is that if he had worked for the Saudi Arabian government, we would have those documents. But since he was tied in with the Israeli government, we're not getting those documents I guarantee why they're not going to release it. They're going to consider it national defense information, NDI, and off that, we can't release it. And then a lot of those people are still alive. Who knows what
I feel like this would be standard like, I don't think we would know about Saudi Arabia. They literally fucking chainsawed that one dude up in that embassy. We didn't do fuck all about that, right? I think at this point, most people believe.
Well, we wouldn't give that same level of Saudi Arabia, cool. But like I'm saying,
for Ukraine,
we give Israel is insane.
Maybe
insane.
What was his name? Jasal.
Oh, Khashoggi?
Jesus fuck.
Yeah, the Saudi Arabian guy.
It's pretty crazy. Like I'm pretty sure people saw him getting like carried out and
they killed him in Turkey. Yeah.
Yeah, and then and look at like Ukraine. I think at this point, most people know that Zelensky might not have had personal knowledge, but Ukraine probably took out the Nord Stream 2 pipeline. We haven't released anything or said anything. Fuck all about that. I think it's pretty standard practice we have allies. We're not going to release like condemned.
Sure. But the amount of aid that we give them, the amount of money we give them, etc. Like I'm saying, like any other country, had Epstein not been aligned with Israel, let's say he had been aligned with Turkey, even Ukraine, some of our greatest allies, the info would have came out. Is my argument.
I don't know.
It's speculative, but I think the info would have came out.
Elon was literally in the United States with his own bodyguards, like beating up U.S. citizens, and we didn't say fuck all about it. We're like, oh, you know, he's cool, you know, just. We give a lot of deference to people we're friends
is a
with.
scumbag, man.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Turkey, it does a lot. I mean, Trump literally, when he left Syria, and Turkey was like, oh, we can go bomb these motherfucking Kurds now.
He's like the definition of like a guy that just talks shit, but.
Yeah. But I mean, like, we didn't do fuck all about it or condemn him or say anything bad about it. So I don't know. I think we get a lot of deference to our allies. It's hard to say.
But Israel, dude, come on, man. Come on, man. If it was Turkey, come on. If Epstein was Turkish intelligence, that file would have been out, man.
I don't know, man.
What about Ukraine? Ukraine just got another round of funding. Where do you guys stand on that?
Yes. You know, it's disappointing because, you know, Trump campaigned that he would end that conflict. And now I think he's starting to realize that we're in a little too deep now. Russia has no reason to make peace at this point. They're winning. And they have all the cards, unfortunately. So they're like, oh, well, what's the point of us doing diplomacy? And, you know, Trump thought he was going to be able to come in and just kind of let them keep the land that they have. Don't join NATO for 20 years. I think this was kind of the original, correct me if I'm wrong, like plan that they came in with. It wasn't good enough for Russia. So I don't know, dude. I mean, that's a fucking nightmare. Ukraine, Russia, what's going on? I don't know what's your position on that.
I truly do believe that Trump is just incompetent in like everything he does. I think that people have let him get away with this. He's like a master negotiator.
I think he's better than the Biden administration on Russia.
Not.
You don't think so?
No, he's a catastrophe. This guy said he would do it on day 0. This guy's like truthing out like, I think Putin is lying to me. And it's like, yeah, no fucking shit, Sherlock.
I see your perspective, but at least he's talking to Putin. The Biden administration, they didn't talk to him for years.
Yeah, but I mean, like, what has Trump gotten in all of his talks with Putin? Literally fuck all.
Yeah. Well, again, it's better than
they say. Like, I didn't bother talking to the guy. I got fuck all that. I talked to him and I begged and I got nothing.
But at least we got conversation going. At least we can figure something out, dude.
We're not figuring anything out.
Biden administration didn't even talk to him, dude.
Yeah, there's nothing to talk about. Motherfuckers invading a sovereign nation for no fucking reason.
Well, if you want to make peace, you have to talk to the other side at some point.
I mean, with Putin.
Yeah, you got to talk to him at some point. Like,
I think we should have just supported Ukraine and let them win the war. I think that would have been the better idea. But
you think what we should have
supported Ukraine so they could have won the war? I think would have been the better idea.
Again, I think that whole conflict was bad foreign policy by the U.S. again, right? Like you know, allowing NATO to expand. Like, you know, we could have made a play with the Russians in the early 2000s. Putin wanted to join.
They wanted an expedited list. They wanted to get there with some special privilege bullshit. There are definitely steps that we could have taken to be more friendly with Russia historically, like especially after the war on terror. Like we had a closer relationship for a while. But they see themselves as like a dispossessed empire, and I think they want that back. I mean, they did it in
for sure.
Georgia, they're doing it in Ukraine.
He's talked about that, but I do think that this isn't just, I can't really even blame this on one administration. This is literally like 10, 20 years of bad foreign policy with Russia, where I think we could have definitely held back NATO a little bit. Could have you know.
But I mean, like even when you say that, like held back NATO, like why? If countries vote to want to join NATO, like why are we saying no, you can't? So you have to get fucked by Russia instead.
And well, it's not that. I think allowing NATO to continue to expand, like, and provoking a world power that has nuclear weapons.
We don't attack Russia.
Well, no, of course we don't. But by allowing NATO to expand, that is a proxy way that because we're benefiting. We're allowing our weapons to be used. We're seeing what their capabilities are versus ours. Like, this is an awesome intel collection thing for us. Obviously, at the cost of Ukrainians and Russians dying, and costing us billions of dollars. But
I mean, maybe it's just nicer to be friends with the U.S. than with fucking Russia, right? Like, I think I mean, like when you look at like the Baltics, like these guys are sitting real good right now. They're like, I'm glad as fuck we got it in NATO because I don't want to be fucking Ukraine.
Well, they only joined after the Ukraine situation, like
no, Baltics, Estonia.
Yeah. But I'm talking about, like, I'm thinking of Finland right now. Yeah, like Finland only joined because of what happened with Ukraine. But I do think that, you know, the invasion in 2022 was just a culmination of just really bad foreign policy, and then Putin seeing Biden sucks, let's go in, he's weak, and then bam.
I mean, he would have gone in if it was Trump. Like,
you think so? I don't think so.
He hasn't done fuck all with Trump there. He was still fighting through all of Trump's first term in the Donbass. Like, yeah, I don't think this weird myth that like everybody respects Trump and nobody does shit. Like, I just don't think it's true. Like, anybody will do anything. Like,
I don't think he would have invaded if Trump was in. I mean, India
and Pakistan were trading blows for a little bit. Yeah, Russia hasn't slowed down on anything.
He did end that.
He didn't end shit. They came to like, where does this myth come from that Trump is just master ender of anything?
Let me give my position. Okay, I'm not the average MAGA retard. Here's the thing: both nuclear powers, they knew they would destroy each other.
Yeah.
They need an intermediary to come in. He came in, convenient. I'm ending it, took credit for it. Cool. That's my position. I think it would have ended anyway.
Sure.
Just that he was able to slide in and get the credit for it because, dude, they both have nukes. They would have
I
cooked
think
each other.
everybody could have. They just, like you said, they need like an off ramp, right?
Yeah. They need an off ramp, and he was in a convenient position.
Trump's foreign policy, in my opinion, through all 5 years, has been a disaster. I don't know like what foreign policy W's.
I think he's better than Biden, dude, and I think he would have done better than Kamala in this situation.
We were involved in less conflict with Biden. The wars that we were involved in were much more justified.
Two wars broke out, man.
Yeah, but they weren't our wars. And arguably, you can point to Trump at the very least for the Israeli one, right? Those Abraham Accords were a big fuck you to the Palestinians who have already been extricated from every other Arab supporter, right? Imagine you go from like, my allies are Syria, Jordan, all these other Arab states, and now it's like, fuck, my allies are the fucking Houthis.
The Abraham Accords.
The fucking,
I agree with you. I've mentioned a million times how the Abraham Accords was a part of it.
Like,
but
it's pretty crazy to be like, we have peace in the Middle East, and then like 2 years, 3 years later, it's like, oh shit, biggest terrorist attack, like all
but it's also the occupation. It's also everything else that comes in. Dude, hell, even the red cows that they went and bought from Texas, that was a part of the reason why they attacked.
But I'm saying like everything under Trump, like he was gung ho with the Saudi Arabia drone striking fucking Yemen. He was cool with just like ditching the Kurds in Syria. He didn't give a fuck about any of that.
That's like every president ditches the Kurds. Like we use them, hey, fight the Muslims for us, and then we like just leave them to dry.
The Kurds in Iraq are a bit happier now than they were under Saddam Hussein.
Oh yeah, they're super happy.
Yeah.
Israel's getting 80% of their oil from them.
He kicked the. he kicked us out of Afghanistan in like the dumbest way possible. He basically
no, that was Biden.
Well,
the one we left.
But it was on Trump's negotiated agreement. The Doha Accords agreement was him taking the Taliban, going to Qatar, Doha, Qatar, and then basically negotiating a full surrender without even the Afghanistan government being involved.
American foreign policy, I would say, over the past 20 years has been bad.
Policy has issues.
It's had
But I'm
problems.
just saying that under Biden, we're like the big stuff we're involved in is like Ukraine and Israel. And
those both broke out under his watch.
Broke out is a very one-dimensional way of looking at time. But I'm just saying that like those are the two conflicts we're involved in. Under Trump, it was like 5 of them, and like most of them were bullshit. We didn't need to be doing anything in Yemen with the Houthis. With the weird shit we were doing in Syria, this guy campaigned on like, we're gonna take their fucking oil.
So, I'll say this. So
the surrender in Afghanistan was a disaster.
So the significant conflicts broke out under Biden's administration. And I get what you're saying. Well, the Abraham Accords added to that. Well, the other thing too is that at least even though I'm critical of Trump for doing this, with the Iranians, he had them sanctioned, so they were broke, right? They didn't have the money to really be funding all the proxies like they did. So, Hamas wouldn't have had the same level of, okay, let's go ahead and attack them if they didn't have all the financial backing and a strong Iran behind them if Trump weren't. So I don't think October 7th would have happened under Trump.
I saw a lot of October 7th being a video. It's like they were sophisticated. They weren't driving Humvees. They were like fucking Toyota. Like
Of course. But like what I'm saying is like, I don't like they wouldn't have had a strong Iran to back them in that attack as the way that they did. And obviously with Hezbollah and everything else, because Hezbollah was shooting rockets into Israel like on October 8th, right after.
But I mean, they had like the 3rd largest missile stockpile in the world. That wasn't just because of Iran.
Yeah. But like they were emboldened because they were stronger. So my point is, I think, and you're going to disagree with me on this, I think Trump's foreign policy, though I'm very critical of it. I'm not a magatard. You know this. I still think it's better than Biden.
What's like
and
one
Kamala
foreign
Harris.
policy W that like he put in work for it, not like fucking India.
Now the Congo and the Rwandans and shit like that.
Yeah.
Look, you're not going to look at it as a W, but I think the fact that he's even talking to Russia. No, I'm not going to say North Korea. No. But I think the fact that he's at least talking with Russia, at least he's talking with Putin. There's some semblance of mutual respect there to a degree. I do think that can at least the bridge is there. It's just about walking it. Well, he didn't even talk. He didn't even talk to the Biden administration. I think if Kamala were in, this would be even more cooked when it comes to Russia.
But you said mutual respect. Where is the evidence that Putin has any respect at all for Trump?
Yeah, so he actually left the meeting early to say, "Hey, I got to go talk to Trump." Like literally, like a couple days ago.
To go butter him up a little bit and then go bomb Ukraine like 20 times harder the next day.
Again, no. But the point I'm trying to make
even
is
Trump himself has truth out like 15 times. Like, these motherfuckers keep bombing Ukraine.
He did it in public. Again, I'm not saying it's fantastic, but what I am saying it's better than not having any talks at all. Right? Like the step one to diplomacy is talking. And with the Biden administration and if Kamala Harris were in, they wouldn't even be talking.
Step one to humiliation is also talking though, right? Like it's a big W that Putin's like, I just talked to this fucking retard and then I like did 10x more missile attacks the next day and he didn't fuck all about it. Like that looks good for Putin, right?
Well, here's the other thing. Remember, we backed Ukraine when they did their drone strike on Russia. That was embarrassing for them where we destroyed a bunch of their fighter jets. Remember that when Ukraine did the same thing that the Mossad did with Iran. It was like
we destroyed a bunch of their fighter. Wait, when?
Okay, so I don't know if you heard about this story. Like a month ago.
I know about the drones.
When Ukraine was behind enemy lines and they were able to basically So that was embarrassing for Russia, right?
Sure.
And we obviously funded that. So like,
did we obviously fund it? I mean,
yeah, dude.
I think this was like a manpower attack. This wasn't like an ultra sophisticated technology attack. This was like a
no. It was sophisticated. They were behind enemy lines and they were able to launch the drones to go ahead and attack the planes.
I understand, but it was like
That's all our weapons, dude. All our shit.
It was drones. It wasn't like these weren't like $billion. It was like a years-long project of like assembling stuff behind enemy lines. Paying. I'm just saying it wasn't like this was like a $5 million missile every time. It was like a true technology.
That's our intelligence. That's our. We're the ones telling them how to set up and everything. Like, dude, it's all us. Like the Ukrainians.
I don't believe that. I bet that right now.
CIA is 100% super involved in this conflict. Feeding them all kinds of intelligence.
I don't even know how much we could coach them in terms of because the type of warfare that they're participating in has never been seen on the planet. Like all this drone back and forth and shit. They're probably getting like new methods and intelligence and ways to do the shit that like nobody's conceived of. I'm sure we're collecting data, but I don't know how hand in hand we are with them on everything.
Well, no, we're literally our CIA guys are over there. Like literally, the only difference is like it's not our guys that are operating, the weapons and shit like that. But in some cases where the Ukrainians don't know how to operate it, our guys are operating it. Like we're as close as you can be to the conflict without actually being in the conflict. And I think that's another big problem why diplomacy is failing, because it's like, well, you just launched an attack where you destroyed a bunch of my nuclear-capable fighter jets.
To be fair, they left when they did those attacks. Those are the only planes they left alone. They didn't attack the nuclear-capable ones explicitly, which was interesting.
No, they did attack a couple.
They didn't. They left those. They left just those planes alone. Because there's a lot of theorizing and speculating on why they did it. And the idea is that they're
because all the outlets I looked at, they said they destroyed the nuclear capable ones, man.
I mean, we can fact check, put it on screen,
and that's fine. It's not that big a deal. But like I'd like to to see where you saw that. But like
like Russia would understand us helping Ukraine because it's all in our interest. Like we all know what we're doing. We have to be like when Iran bombs a U.S. base in Qatar, right? They said that we completely and totally obliterated that, and we know they didn't. And we'll make a little statement, but we're not going to sit here and lord it over them because they need to have that win. They need to have that to maintain their legitimacy. As like a regime,
they
right?
Notified us, right? It's not real.
2 hours before, Anytime people are evacuating beforehand, right? It's like when Putin says, we're gonna do shit, and like people are freaking out because nukes are moving around. It's like, well, they're doing it above ground. We can see everything. Like that's good. That's okay for us,
I still think that though this is bad, don't get it twisted. I think like what we got going on with Russia, Ukraine, and the fact that they're trying to push this bill through is an L. I still think it's head and shoulders above anything Kamala Harris would have been able to do or what the Biden administration was doing, because at least they're talking. Yes, it's not going as well as we want. Obviously, Trump is visibly frustrated, but step one with diplomacy is talking. The Biden administration wasn't even talking.
If in 3 years nothing gets resolved,
then I owe you a beer.
Okay. All right.
Then I owe you a beer.
You said you're not a fan of the big beautiful bill?
It's a hard world to be in. Now you know how we felt defending Biden, okay? Yeah, it's awkward being a man, right? Did I go to these Trump debates and I'm like, what do we got in the what's Politico reporting today? And then the Trump guy's like, oh boy.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So okay. Look, with every bill, there's because it's so goddamn big, like you can't agree or like everything with it. Obviously I'm pro immigration, right? No, not pro immigration enforcement, excuse me. So I do think that, the deportations is a good thing. You might disagree with me on that. I don't know if you want to, what your position is on that.
My big issue when it comes to stuff is that, like, regardless of what you feel, Trump is politically fucking retarded. Like, he picks way too many fights. He can't focus on anything. He doesn't know how to get, like, PR wins. The big issue that I have is that when the left like fights against him, like ICE is important, like a border is important. Having like an actual immigration policy where we know who's in the country, like these are important things. And because Trump is
so progressive, like he believes in immigration, like
because Trump is so fucking unhinged. Like I see where people are coming from when they're like abolish ICE and shit. Like it's pretty crazy that there are kids drowning in Texas, and then there are like forces like walking through MacArthur Park in fucking LA as a show of, and it's like what the fuck? This is the gayest shit I've ever seen in my entire life. What are we doing right now? These guys are kitted out in like body armor. There's like they're Ukrainians in ditches that see how our like feds are equipped, like doing nothing in California. Or, like what the fuck? Yeah. So I think there is a good conversation we had about immigration, and I think it pushed off even.
Do you want to go into immigration?
We could, but I think that whole conversation is even further away now after the unhinged shit that Trump has done everywhere. Like I think it's like fucked for a while now.
Okay, so my position is I think he's actually fairly good on immigration. I don't like what he's doing with the anti-Semitism bills, like deporting fucking college students. I think that's retarded. But the stronger border, obviously we know that illegal entries are down like something wild, like 90% or whatever. But I do think in the whole, though I'm critical of the deporting of college students because I think those resources could be better allocated to actually going after illegal aliens. I think in general, enforcing immigration is a good thing, something that we haven't done for a very long time. And outside of like people say, oh well, Obama did a bunch of deportations. Yeah, like catching people at the border and releasing them are two different things. It's not the same as like interior action enforcement. And when it comes to like interior enforcement, that is where Trump like shines compared to other places.
I guess, yeah.
Other politicians.
Hopefully they don't listen to this podcast at all. But like, I think that Trump could have gotten the easiest W's in the world by going to sanctuary cities, sanctuary states, and just sending the feds into like prisons, state prisons, and being like, we're going to do paperwork check on everybody, and we're going to, dump these guys out. They could have gotten a lot of deportations. It would have been probably cheap, like compared to what they're doing now.
Well, the problem with the sanctuary cities is they don't even and I can tell you this from like my professional experience, bro. They don't even honor the detainers. Like I remember when I was on a job, someone would be illegal. Hey, I want you to hold this person for us. They let him go.
For sure. But that's why I'm saying going to prisons where people are already arrested and shit, and then start doing like background checks there. I'm just saying it would have been cheaper than what they're doing now. It would have been really hard.
But they reserve the right to tell the feds you're not coming in here. Like that's how bad it was getting.
Supremacy, I don't know.
That's how bad it was getting.
Literally there for like deportation related stuff. Even if they did say that, in my mind, it would still be a W, because Trump could very easily say, "We're just trying to go into a prison. We just want to deport the felons, the violent criminals, and they're harboring them because now we can't say we just want people to be able to work and be happy and take care of their families."
Kind of like,
but when you're running around like raiding like fucking Home Depots and deporting, like people to fucking El Salvador, like the fuck, like he's like picking the most evil shit to make everybody fucking hate him for no reason. And it's like,
well, that's the thing with immigration, right? You're damned if you do, damned if you don't. Like, yeah, you're gonna go after people that are just like hardworking in here, but they're here illegally, man. And this has been a long time that we've been kind of being like compassionate, like, oh my God, we don't want to be offensive, but it's like they got to get removed. And like when it comes to the thing with the state, so there's this myth, right? Like, oh, the feds can trump the state or whatever. State law enforcement actually has far more authority than people think, and they can literally tell you, go pound sand, you're not walking in this fucking jail, and you can't go in there and be like, well, you need to let me in. Like, no, the feds don't have as much authority as people think. Like
they might not, but the thing is that like in matters of border enforcement, this is where the executive is at its peak when it comes to power and enforcement and everything.
Yes, on the border they have way more power, but here's the thing, I'm talking about interior enforcement.
No, I understand, but I'm saying you could probably make like immigration related arguments when it comes to like state prisons and stuff. I'm sure that they could make the argument, or they could set up the same way they do for state courthouses, where they just wait outside the courthouse, and when a motherfucker comes out,
yeah, and that's like, a big reason why they have to do that, because
sure, but they could do it in fucking prisons and state prisons. Like it's an easy optical win. You look bad defending it, right? Like it looks bad to throw people out of Home Depot, no matter what. Even conservatives are like, you don't want to like. But if they just do it out of prisons, it'd be so much more popular. Yeah, and like at the end of this term, Trump is not deporting a significant number of people. It's not going to happen.
And here's the
right?
thing. Well, here's the thing. Like I see what you're saying. Like, hey, just sit out the side of jail and stuff. But the problem is that they get released at irregular times. You don't know when they're going to be released. They'll release them without telling you.
Stop. $168 billion. Put a cop in the back and in the front. You got the time to have these guys work doubles. You can do it. He allocates so much money. If he wanted to do it, he could do it. Okay.
No. Well, here's the thing. Again, with
this guy deployed the national. There's like 600 fucking Marines to California. He can send some feds to sit outside an LA jail for 2 months.
Again, with ICRO, because they're the main people that have Title 8 or whatever. There's a certain amount of manpower, etc. Yes, you can designate people to have Title 8 authority and put them out there and everything. But we're talking about every single jail. That'd be an enormous amount.
Pick 2.
Okay, Destiny.
Hold on. Keep in mind, you're telling me that they can't do this at the same time where I watched like the fucking a Baghdad's invasion fleet like drive down LA to go surround MacArthur Park for a 3-hour horse gallivanting. Did you watch the videos of this?
No, I did see some of it. Yeah.
They caught 0 fucking people. However much money they spent on that, they could have monitored 1 prisoner for 1 month. I'm sure they could have.
No, of course. What I'm saying is that that's like, do you really want to put 6 guys at the jail, 24 hours waiting for this guy to walk out the jail? Like, is that a good use of resources?
Isn't it a better use of resources than the MacArthur Park deployment?
Well, again, it depends. It always depends on who the alien is. Like, what's their background like? Are they a criminal alien? Every case is obviously dependent on the person's criminal history, who they are, how many times they've been apprehended, whatever. But I do think in general, what we got going on with immigration is better than before. I know some of it is sensationalized to you, but I do think like
the El Salvador shit is unhinged. Why?
With who?
Why are we deporting anybody to El Salvador? Why do we make a deal to send them to their special prisons and paying them for it? It's like, we don't have to. It's just like unhinged.
Well, yeah, I see your position. But the thing is that like a lot of countries, some countries like won't take them back, right? Like I'll give you an example.
I thought we had a master deal maker.
Well, no, these have been put, like some of these countries, like Cape Verde, I'll give you a perfect example. Like Cape Verde, for example, won't take their aliens back. Like in Boston, they get caught all the time for being in gangs and committing violence. And since Cape Verde won't take them back, ICE can't do anything with them. They go back out into the streets.
I don't believe that they won't take it back. I think if the United States
a lot of countries don't take them
we're
back.
flying, no, 0 chance. The U.S. says we're flying. I'm telling you that from as a U.S. person,
Definitely.
If the United States were to say, hey, we're bringing these people back to your country and you're going to fucking take them, there's 0 world where the country's like, oh, actually, fuck you, U.S. You guys can keep them. We're not taking shit from you. No shot. Just like with Diego Garcia, when they're like, oh, no, we can't get him back. He's in El Salvador. There's nothing we can do. And all of a sudden,
well, we knew they could have got him back. But I'm saying again, there's some countries where they won't take him back, bro. I'm telling you. you, Cape Verde's one of them. There's more. I just can't.
Go drop them off at the UN. Give them to the Hague if you want. Fuck it.
Okay.
Like, there's no shot. You're telling me that the United States couldn't deport somebody to a country because they have more power.
I'm telling you.
In that case, then we should say fuck it to all deportation. We should not do anything. If the US is
there's
still fucking
sensitive diplomacy things. Like there's countries where
you think Trump is the sensitive diplomacy guy?
No. I'm not saying. I'm saying in general, these things have been in place forever. There's some countries that simply won't take their people back, which is why you have to remove them sometimes to other countries where they might have an agreement where they can get them back to that country. Does that make sense? I'm going in the weeds here.
No,
because this immigration.
That's fine. I'm saying grammatically what you're saying makes sense. I'm just saying that like realistically, that's not how it would work, right? Like if I had the passwords to some horribly incriminating piece of information on you, and then I had the best password protection shit on my computer in the world, and then we have a debate on whether or not you can get that information on my computer, what would you say?
I'm a bit confused by your.
If I had incriminating information on you in my computer, and I had it locked down so nobody could get in but me, would you agree that you could never get into my computer?
Probably not, no.
No, you would. You would just beat the shit out of me until I gave you the password.
Okay.
So
you wanted me to use violence.
Yeah, well, we're the United States. What the fuck? We use violence everywhere. So I'm just saying that, like, if you want to say, like, well, diplomatically, there are issues and people don't want to take blah, 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 blah. And it's like, in a sense, that's kind of true. But at the end of the day, if the United States were saying, you're taking these motherfuckers back, they will take them back.
But again, the aliens got to be worth it. It's got to be a big deal. Like, it's got to be. Here's the thing. They don't want to go ahead and exercise, our weight and our, like, hey, you need to take them back unless it's really worth it. So in general,
is the El Salvador ship been worth it?
Well, I'm not talking about El Salvador. I'm talking about in general. Like, there are countries out there that simply won't take their people back. So what ends up happening is, and I'm telling you this from an immigration standpoint, like, they're not going to go and fight and be like, take this guy back, blah, blah. It's a pain in the ass. So instead, they'll remove him to another country. That country might have an agreement with that with that other country that won't take him back from us, and then they'll give him back that way. So that's the way that they get around it.
I think by the end of the 4 years, he's not going to have deported a significant amount of people.
Well, a lot of people aren't coming in too. So that plays into it.
Yeah, a little bit, sure. But I mean, if we have anywhere from 13 to 20 million, depending who you ask people here.
A big amount of the deportations people talk about, a lot of it is just, what's called ERs. Expedited removals, ERs. So, but I do think in general, I think what he's doing with immigration is good in general. Like, there's
even though by the end of his 4 years, we're not going to deport a significant amount of people, they're still all basically going to be here.
Well, deterrence is important, and people not coming in is super important as well. And closing down the border is important.
Sure. I mean, to be fair, nobody's coming here right now. Like, tourism is down like fucking 80% as well. But I mean, like, that's
who cares? Who cares? Strong borders. But yeah, I think in general, like, the deterrence and the people not coming in, that's a big W. Because the other thing too is that, like, when it comes to illegal aliens and coming, that funds a lot of illegal activity. So like these human smuggling organizations, they're taking a big pay cut as well. So it helps with many other ways where it's positive reverberations.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Curbing that is good. I think there are way better ways to do it. But
what about amnesty for these illegals?
Okay.
I would say my position is that nobody wants to have the conversation, but amnesty is the only realistic way to solve the illegal immigration problem. I feel like you can do it. I feel like you can like a carrot and stick approach where if you've been here for, at least like 5 years, if you can prove you don't have like a criminal record, like, and I mean like a real criminal record, not like a fucking speeding ticket, but like no like felonies, no bad misdemeanors for violence or whatever, then I think you give a path to amnesty for maybe you cap them at a green card or whatever. And maybe you make them pay a fucking fine if conservatives want to jerk off for the next 5 years on their income. But like the reality is they're already hired by businesses. They're renting, they already, they exist in these communities. Like they're sucking them out would just collapse like so many different parts of economies, that if you have a path to amnesty, you can do that, and then simultaneously you hardcore ramp up your conditions or your penalties for violating. So make it so like if you get caught here illegally, it's not 5 years, it's like 25 years, or it's a lifetime ban from the US. Or if you're caught helping somebody, you have more ways to prosecute these people. Make it so like there's a path to amnesty, and then if you don't follow it, the penalties are like 10x what they were before. And then just once we have that shit settled, then you move forward with whatever hopefully a new immigration policy is. But just going at it with a stick approach, like, again, by the end of the time, we're not deporting 1 million people that are in here right now in the interior, except for maybe some of the people that came in for not amnesty, the asylum-seeking shit. Maybe those guys will leave.
Yeah.
But the problem is like never getting fixed, and then it just becomes like a virtue signal thing on both sides forever, and we don't get any closer to solving it, I think.
Yeah. So my thing is, I like your idea. I would put a little bit stricter. Hey, you need to be extremely productive for for you to stay here. You need to show like significant ties to the community. Are you contributing? What are you doing specifically, etc. And if that individual is obviously contributing to the country from a significant standpoint, and they've been here for a significant amount of time, then we can, figure something out. But I do think that, just giving everybody a pass just to stick around when they're not contributing is a problem. And I do think that we should be more on the deportation side if they're not contributing. And I do think when it comes to visas, because we're not just getting beat when it comes to, immigration just on people coming in illegally. I think our visa system is super flawed. People abuse the student visa system. People abuse the marriage system where they, commit marriage fraud. So we have to redo our entire immigration system.
But our immigration
I think we need an immigration moratorium for at least 1 to 5 years, bare minimum.
That would be scary for a variety of reasons, but the immigration is also absurdly fucking complicated. When I got married to Melina, we did the K-1 visa.
Sorry to hear that, man.
What? It's fine. Listen, hey, it was a fun 5 years. Listen, relations come and go, it's fine. But when we were doing our immigration stuff, I think the way that it works for the K-1 visa is when we got engaged, she could come here and then had 90 days for us to get married. And then once we got married, technically you file, I don't remember the form, 184, I'm making numbers up. But
184 or something like that.
It's something that you file for adjustment of status change, basically.
485 or something like that.
But while you're waiting for that, between the K-1 visa expiration and then while we were married, waiting for that change of status, technically she's here illegally. So like she couldn't leave the country because if she tried to come back, they wouldn't let her. And if she did get caught anywhere, technically she could get expelled because she's not technically supposed to be here. And I feel like there's a lot of weird immigration shit like that where you're in this weird kind of in-between worlds.
Lots of, where you're in limbos. For sure.
There was that one story with the Iranian wife. There was some guy who was married to some Iranian chick who was there for, I guess her LPR or her green card got revoked like 15 years ago. And they were working with like the State Department and like a lawyer to kind of get it back. And then randomly she just gets like deported. She has like a family. There's like a normal woman who's like not doing any weird shit at all. And it's like, there's so much like fucking shit. And that's another thing that's frustrating is if you don't want to talk about immigration reform, which would include our visas and everything else, it's like, what the fuck are we actually doing?
And that's why I'm saying, like, because I realize that, like, obviously we got to do deportation, whatever, but I'm also on the other side, like, we need to fix the entire system because the system is cooked, which is why we have all these problems. And we're not just getting beat because everyone looks at it like the border. That's just one component. We're getting beat on visas, with green cards, with how people adjust. All different types of stuff, right? The marriage one, the K-1 visa route that you gave, dude, there's an entire illegal organization that literally they're like, oh yeah, I'll get you a K-1 visa and get you married for $20,000. Like people are exploiting this stuff. So we need to reform the entire immigration thing. I think we need 1 to 5 year moratorium at least to fix it. But yeah.
The reason why I don't like the moratorium stuff is we're already attacking so much our harvesting of international talent with the whole visa shit for students. And the attacks on our institutions, which are
I think the HSP is a problem. I think we need to focus more on getting O1s over here, people that like have actual real exceptional skills, not Jeets that are going to come in and code.
I mean, coding is the future. As much as people don't like it, well,
their coding sucks. We need Americans.
If that was true, then we'd hire Americans. No offense, but American coders kind of suck. I think a lot of people got tricked.
They're expensive. It's because they're expensive.
Well, sure, but I mean, like, what does that say?
Well, they want to cut corners and they want to pay them less, and then also they can put them on a slave contract. Hey, you got to work here for 4 years. And the H-1B visa is a scam, and Vivek is a retard. But yeah,
I'm just saying that, like, if you go around the world, for all the people, Muslims that hate America, people in China that hate America, everybody hates America, whoever hates America, nobody's looking at America and being like, oh yeah, like Harvard and Yale and Columbia, what horrible aspects of the United States. Like these are like our shining star like schools that are like super under attack by this administration. And then a lot of the, like, we agree on this. I can always agree with you when Israel's involved, if I'm on the other side of it. Like this deporting people over fucking like pro-Palestine protests and shit. Like what the fuck? Why?
Yeah, that's
like it's so fucking stupid.
And my position on that isn't even really from like a Hamas reason. My thing is because it's antithetical to the First Amendment. That's why I'm so against it. Like these people are here legally. We could be using those resources to go after people that are here illegally.
Sure.
And you're going after them for using literally the First Amendment
to go after.
That's my problem.
To protest Israel is fucking
like
stupid.
And here's the thing: like these people that come in and say the stupid shit about global intifada, I don't agree with it. But like my thing is like, they should have the right to say it because it's the United States of America.
There's also, and we forget this because it's the social media era and everything else, and every person has the same power online. But like I reiterate this a lot, like people from 18 to 22 are fucking retarded. No offense, but they are. So like kids are gonna say retarded shit. They can put a camera in front of them. It could be online forever. Like if my shit from when I was 14 or 15 was online forever, like I would be.
I was literally talking about that with a guy that like social media is like it's cooked a lot of young people.
It's crazy because like if you think of like Destiny, Stephen Bonnell, you think of like like Dean Withers or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like we have like voices online. Dean is like this is a 20-year-old guy, and I'm 36, and like somebody can be 55, and at the end of the day, it's just how many followers you get, how much attention you get. So yeah, cracking down on like a 20-year-old for saying some retarded shit at a protest is like it's just self-defeating, I think.
Yeah, it's stupid, and again, it's antithetical to the First Amendment. And us doing it, like, it's crazy to me how like they could come in and say, I hate Trump, nobody cares. I hate Netanyahu, jail, deported, So that's my thing.
Yeah, I think all of us here are against cancel culture.
Yeah.
All three of us have been canceled.
Are you pro-cens? No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, it's going to be a lot more nuanced than that, but I don't know how you could say you're MAGA and anti-cancel culture, considering Trump is literally writing executive orders going after lawyers.
You're not MAGA either, right?
Look, I like Trump. there, I voted for him. There's some things that I don't like that he does. I'm able to be impartial and be critical of dumb shit that he does. Like that's one thing between me and like other people that like, I love Trump. They'll never criticize him. That's stupid. There's things that he does that I like and these things that he does that I don't like and I will call him out.
Yeah.
So that's my thing.
Let's talk about this New York City mayor. Destiny, you support this guy or what?
I'll support probably whatever Democrat gets to the primary. I mean, the guy is significantly to the left of me, but the way that I see it is...
You're not a socialist, Destiny?
No, not even close. But the way that I see it is that left people tend to not be like authoritarian dictators like Trump is. So my guess is there's going to be some stuff that he wants to do that he just can't.
Well, Destiny, let me ask you this.
Yeah?
Because you're on the left. What do you think about your party going further and further towards socialism and further and further left?
I think that online, I think in a lot of the media spaces, it looks like that.
AOC, Bernie, etc.
Bernie is
going to run.
Yeah, but Bernie and AOC are like hated now by these like far lefties online. AOC has moderated her position a lot since she first came into office for sure. Bernie has been Bernie for fucking 50
She's probably
years.
going to run 28.
Maybe, but like, where are the rest of these guys? Like Rashid Tlaib and the other two Justice Dems. I don't even remember their names. Like nobody knows these people anymore. Like no more got elected to Congress. Like that movement kind of died. I mean, in New York they ran Cuomo. I mean, why? I mean, and then you had Bendami probably ran a good campaign. I mean,
He's going to win.
Probably.
I think he's going to win.
Yeah. Wow. But I mean, like I said,
he's saying everything that, I did a whole tweet on this, like why he's winning. Like, again, I don't agree with his political views, but he's literally saying everything that people in New York want to hear, right? Fuck Israel. Just shit's too expensive. Let's go ahead and make the grocery stores owned by the city so you can afford it. Like he's saying all the things that New Yorkers want to hear.
I think half the shit it'll be impossible to do.
Oh, he's not going to be able to do it. No.
And I think if he does try stuff, I mean, either some of it will work and then I'll change the way that I view some of it, or some of it will fail and I just have more stuff that I can point to and go,
and the
this is
fact that
retarded.
he's in New York City, like, yeah, it's going to be so hard for him to do anything. And the fact that he's like going at the Israel lobby in New York City, which is like the most populated Jewish population in the United States, they're going to fight back. I mean, like Bill Ackman right now is getting like a big treasure chest of money to fight him off.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens, but I do think he's going to win. But I think it's going to be nearly impossible for him to get anything done. So
Newsom and Cali going against Trump. Where are you guys siding on that one?
Obviously Newsom, my boy.
I think California's cooked, man. I just, and it's showing like we've seen a huge explosion in population in Texas and then a huge explosion of population in Florida, right? Like we see in Austin, Texas, the two hottest real estate markets, right? I know this as an investor, Austin and like Miami pretty much over the past couple of years. It's cooling off now, but I think the people leaving says everything you need to know. Vegas also exploded that.
Yeah.
Vegas has exploded in population.
Yeah, but I was going to say like it's not like these places are exploding because they're amazing places to live or they're popular. It's because California's gotten so expensive because so many people live there already. So like I know in Miami, people are complaining about increased cost of housing. In Austin, they definitely complain about it. So like they're on their way to the same problems more or less in terms of stuff being unaffordable or.
Yeah, but the point is that I think the point is that blue cities tend to get expensive and then drive people out when they go to red states.
My thing is like if California was in so much trouble, especially because of things like illegal immigration and everything, why is Trump so keen on deporting people from California? Why not focus your efforts on places like Texas where you've got good relationships with the governors and the leaders, and then let California fail? Like show
because Texas, I could tell you this again, professional background, but like in Texas, they're far more the local law enforcement. Like the only city in Texas really that's like lame on this is like Austin, but every other city in Texas, the local sheriffs and everything, they will help with immigration enforcement.
Sure, but I'm saying why not like
California doesn't
let them fall to illegal immigration and then come in and clean up basically.
Well, you don't want it to get to that point because then it becomes really tough to actually enforce the immigration the way you want. If it becomes too much of a problem, you mean? Or
I mean, if you think it's like so deleterious to the state, like why not let them suffer with that? Trump likes to play games with FEMA funds all the time. Why not play games with illegal immigrants going to there?
And I mean, it's one thing to like kind of teach them a lesson, but it's another thing to like just let like illegals come in and just like ravage the place.
I mean, they still have their border enforcement. They could be on the. I mean, they can do that. So, but
it's tough because like the state isn't helpful, so it's hard for them to do what they want to do. Versus like in Texas, the reason why we don't have these problems is like the sheriffs and the locals are way more happy about that, right? Hell, there's like Texas statute for like smuggling aliens. Damn. They never get it prosecuted, but there's a statute on the books for it. Even though they don't have Title 8.
What about the Title 6 stuff going on in Cali? Have you guys been following that?
Title 6?
With the transgender stuff?
I have not been following that.
No?
I don't give a fuck about transgender stuff.
Okay, yeah. That's been over.
Conservatives have been obsessed with that for like 6 years. Oh, I'm over
it. I've even been critical of it. Like it's a 1% issue. It's like, yeah, we can make fun of them for being weirdos and shit, but like there's other stuff to, worry about.
Yeah.
What else do we disagree about that we hate each other on, Destiny?
Shit. You guys agreed a lot, to be honest.
Well, I mean, we disagree on like foreign policy and shit in Israel. What else?
You're
Feminism? We've done that so many times.
You've done the feminism, dating stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
You're against foreign aid just in general, right? I think you came on a few months ago.
Against what?
Foreign aid, like entirely.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
wanna stop all of it.
I just like foreign aid, especially when it comes to like military funding. I think is like no, like I don't like foreign aid. I don't like
How do you
especially when
feel-
it comes to military.
Okay, well, here's a question. I'm curious.
I have a to give you my foreign policy position. I have like a non-interventionist
Sure.
like mindset when it comes to that.
Fuck that.
Sorry.
I said fuck foreign policy. What as of right now,
Yeah.
if you had to grade this admin for like F is a fail, A is a good job, where would you grade them so far
For foreign policy,
on everything? Like just how happy are you, I guess, with how the Trump admin has gone
That's
so
a good
far?
question.
I'm assuming that
Good
as of right
question.
now, if you could re-vote, you would still vote for Trump over Kamala.
yeah, I would.
Okay.
I would still vote for him over Kamala. I'd give him a C right now,
Okay.
like a C, C minus, depending on the day.
Okay. And
Right
then
now.
what are you looking for by the end of the 4 years to be like, either I'm glad they finally got this done, this is like they are up to a B or an A, or versus like if they did this, they're like, this was too much, like fuck them, they didn't get this done or that done.
I'm really hoping that we can like de-escalate or end the conflict in Russia. Oh, sorry, in Ukraine, and like kind of make some type of diplomacy with Russia. The Middle East is cooked, man. Like it's like we've just like completely enabled and emboldened Israel to conduct a bunch of bullshit. They're gonna attack Iran again. That ceasefire is bullshit. So, yeah. The immigration is okay. I think us spending money on going after anti-Semitism is retarded. But yeah, but I like the murder rates are down, which is good. The FBI is actually getting out there and like doing real shit versus sitting around and doing, oh, let's chase terrorists all day. JTTF never does anything. So it's good that they're actually out there doing shit, helping out with the raids. So, I think these are all good things. Crime is down in general, but yeah.
Same question to you. Where do you rank this administration?
F minus. Obviously.
I knew you'd say that.
Yeah, of course. It's interesting though, because like whoever is like the administration, like the side that's in power, like now the Dems are like going to come at us, right? Like the progressives, like they've been cooking Trump on this Epstein file thing for the days now, right? So I knew it was
Everybody's
coming.
cooking them on it, right?
Yeah, and then
There's just
when
been
he
so
bombed
many-
Iran, they came at us again. Like
I mean, this was the guy who said no new wars, no new wars.
I
over and
know.
over again, right?
I knew you were gonna fucking.
Sure. I mean, I think the Eric Adams stuff in New York that's just
Oh,
unbelievable.
he was
to me.
cooked as soon as he took money from the Turks. Cooked.
Well, I'm saying the fact that the Trump admin basically blackmailed him, and they're like open about it too. We're like, we're gonna delay all the
Oh, yeah.
prosecution until after the
Oh,
election.
they pardoned him, dude. They pardoned him.
But it was
Full on.
the pardon with prejudice only came because that's the only thing the judge would approve. Because he's
Yeah.
like, we're not going to do this, without prejudice. You can pursue it again. if you
Basically,
win the election.
allow the ICE raids to happen. Don't give us a hard time
which
in New York
that's
City.
insane. All of the
I agree with that. I think that was stupid. Yeah.
yeah,
That's why the U.S. attorney resigned for that shit.
a lot of them resigned.
Yeah.
A lot of them.
She was like, I don't want to be involved in this.
Yeah. The writing executive orders targeting people. I think you want to talk about lawfare. I think that the legal stuff has been insane. Trying to sue like Seltzer because he's not happy with the Iowa polls. All of the weird lawsuits. Like I used to argue against conservatives all the time where I'm like, it's not your First Amendment right to be on social media. Now Trump is like getting all these settlements from his friends who are like, oh, because he's suing like Twitter for banning him because he's saying that violated my First Amendment right.
It's because they were colluding with the government to ban him.
These are civil. That's not what they were alleging in the civil cases. They were just saying that like his First Amendment right was violated, and that's why they banned him. And so they were like, and he got payouts. He got settlements from like 6 different big companies over dumb shit like this. Was it ABC or NBC where the guy was like, he raped?
Because I know
a
he
woman
signed the executive order, basically like the government can't collude with social media companies to censor U.S. citizens.
Sure, I guess. Although that never happened. But
Yeah, I mean he signed it. That doesn't mean
Sure.
it gets passed. But
no, I know. No, I'm saying that the collusion with the social media companies, with the FBI and all that shit, never really happened. Like none of the Twitter files showed that.
Oh no, I wasn't referring to that.
Sure,
I was referring to him signing the executive order in general.
Sure. Trying to get rid of birthright citizenship through executive order is crazy, I think.
Yeah, I don't even know because I was keeping up with that, but I didn't like I don't know where it's at right now.
That's going to be litigated for
I
like
know
10 years.
I know a judge like tried to block it. The last I read.
Yeah. That block went away. So now basically we no more birth by soil until the courts figure it out, which could be 5 or 10 years. So who knows?
Wow.
All the things with the tariffs and the trade deals that aren't materializing, I think has been a fucking disaster. Blowing up a relationship with.
I think the tariffs idea is good if implemented properly, but the problem is that they just winged it, dude. Like that's the issue. Like,
and especially like it's too many contrary positions. Like if you want to fight with China because you think that's the number one enemy, fine. But then that has to coincide with the strengthening of our relationship with Canada and Mexico. It can't be fighting with everybody at the same time.
yeah. Well, the other thing too is like, and I know this. I forget where I read this, but like when he first announced the tariffs, a bunch of companies said, hey, we want to have a meeting with Trump at the White House. They showed up.
They want to get reprieve
Hey,
from them.
we will go ahead. If you're serious about this shit, we'll bring, trade back here and we'll start bringing factories, but we need you to commit to this for like the whole time
5
you're
or 10
here.
years at least.
Like, yeah. And they couldn't give him a commitment. So it was like, oh my God. So like, what is going on with these tariffs? Is this more of a negotiation tool versus like actually trying to bring trade back? Because like, if you're going to do the tariffs, you got to do it right. And the thing is that they just winged it, dude. I think if you do it properly, it absolutely can work.
Maybe. But then
the other thing too, also that's like a big red pill that people don't know is like, you can't be a huge consumer, but then also become a huge producer. Because if you're a huge consumer, well, if you produce it, and you have the reserve currency, it's too expensive to produce it. Does that make sense? You have to ship it off to other places so that you can continue to just consume at the rate that you consume.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, it's complicated though, because there are benefits to that.
The Triffin dilemma is what it's called, basically. You have reserve currency, you're always going to have trade deficit.
But there's a benefit to that as well, in that we can fund a lot of our government without having to do like exorbitant interest rates, because there's always going to be people who want to buy treasury bonds and shit, because everybody's holding USD. So
yes.
Yes.
That's why Japan started selling their shit, and we were like, they had to back off on the tariffs. Yeah.
I can joke, and Myron can joke on Twitter, because we're just random retards on Twitter. The president joking about like invading Greenland and invading Panama and Canada's a 51st state. Like, that's really spooky shit to hear from a guy who is otherwise also like very fucking unhinged. So I mean, like, yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of not great shit, I would say.
Yeah. No, it could again, I don't know where the fuck that shit came from, but I think that a little bit of Elon in his ear or whatever.
And being really obsessed with the South Africa shit for like 1 week, because Elon was probably talking to him about the white genocide stuff. And
yeah. Well, he needed to pivot after the H-1B visa debacle.
Sure.
He needed to pivot after that. What's your thoughts on Elon?
I think he's one of the dumbest motherfuckers I've ever seen in my entire life. I don't know if the ketamine like drilled a hole in his prefrontal cortex and he's like a 85 IQ and dropping every day. But
I hate to say that I agree with you on that.
Really? Yeah. It's interesting. Like, if you look at older videos of his,
Elon pissed me off, bro. Like big time. Like fucking. Go ahead. I'll give my grievances after.
No, like if you look at older videos of his, it seems like he's like, he doesn't talk as like eloquently, but I don't know how to explain this to people. There's a way when somebody's speaking, even if they're like a little autistic, like they're searching for words because they understand the concepts and what they're talking about. And now Elon is just like, it sounds like a meme, but it says something. If I were to lie to you, okay, about my gym numbers, okay, if I were to my gym numbers, if I were to tell you, like, listen,
you go to the gym though?
Sometimes. If I were to tell you like 3 months ago, okay, I could put up like for 1 rep 225, okay?
Yeah.
It's
I'd be like, no way.
Maybe, but like it's
picture it didn't happen.
Sure, but if I were to tell you I was doing 405, not like, it doesn't just say that I'm lying. It says I'm a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
When Elon Musk paid somebody to boost his Path of Exile account, whatever.
Oh yeah.
But when he
that's what him and Osman were fighting about, right?
Osman Gold, yeah.
It was him and Osman
fighting. When they streamed it, and then he started talking through his gear, and it's like, not only are you fucking, like, sure, you paid somebody to boost it, whatever, but you think that you can lie about that in front of a bunch of fucking nerd gamers who are grinding 18 hours a day on this? Like, it says something about your mind to be that fucking arrogant and stupid. And well, and like this America First Party, I don't think Elon realizes, all of his political clout was on loan from Trump.
Yes.
Without Trump, this America First Party is literally going nowhere.
It's cooked. And that's why he's trying to siphon off. I don't know if you noticed with Thomas Massey, because Thomas Massey has like a very...
was it on the Iran stuff that he was mad on Trump on?
No, the big beautiful bill.
Oh, it was okay. Yeah.
And I was explaining to you, like, I see why he's mad, because literally Tesla stock dumped. Most people that drive EV cars are Democrats and progressives. Conservatives, most of us think like, EV, what the fuck, like environment.
Regardless of size, most business leaders, like, getting into politics is just not good for business.
It's not.
It's not, no matter what. Yeah,
it's terrible. So like he lost billions of dollars in net worth to support hundreds. Yeah, like literally to support Trump. And then he passes this bill. He's like, dude, what the fuck? I put all this work in, and you're just like undoing it with this bill. So obviously I can see why he's mad. But yes, I see your position where, dude, when you have money like him and whatever he has, fuck you money, like no one ever tells him no. So like you were saying, like the degree of mindset you have to like lie about something so fucking trivial says that you literally probably think you're a god and you're a weirdo. But dude, that's all these idiots. Peter Thiel, Alex Karp, whatever. Anytime I hear these tech guys talk, they're fucking weirdos. They speak in a strange manner. Nothing makes sense. They don't say anything.
Something from that software world was weird.
Dude, they're retarded.
I didn't know if like I was either getting like arrogant or
have you ever listened to Alex Karp talk?
I don't think I've listened to him talk, but I've listened to a lot of the crypto guys talk.
Painful, dude.
But I listen to like
say anything.
Okay, I listened to 10 minutes of Bezos on Lex because I'm like, are all these guys fucking retarded? Bezos knows his shit. That sounds like a guy who like did shit in his life. I'm like, okay, this guy seems like he understands something. Listening to all of the Who's the one guy? He looks like fucking Notch, the Minecraft maker.
Peter Thiel, retard.
There's another Mark
Oxford,
Andreessen or whatever. Yeah, these guys are all like, and like they talk like they think that, yeah. It's like when you meet some kid who's like, oh, I've got like net worth $5 million and I'm 25 and I can coach you on like finance. Like, oh, wow, how'd you make your money? And it's like, I bought Bitcoin and forgot about it. And like, bro, you got lucky.
Yeah.
Cash that shit out, shut the fuck up and go be happy that you got lucky as fuck because you don't know anything about what you're talking about. And like, yeah, the whole tech world feels like that sometimes.
Yeah, and it's even worse because they can't even talk properly to like make you think that they're intelligent. They're retarded. It's a bunch of word salads. So.
Yeah. They don't have any of the charisma either, which is a thing they're not realizing. Again, Elon Musk is a weirdo. Like, that's a guy that conservatives will not like without Trump.
Did you see him at the event where he pulled out the chainsaw? I said, the chainsaw's a bureaucracy. And I was like, this guy's so fucking
Was that the same one where he had the sunglasses on?
Yes.
He was high as fuck for that.
Dude, yeah. Dude, like, and he couldn't get, people don't, like, you probably know this, he couldn't get a clearance for a long time. Like, you couldn't get a clearance because he does drugs.
Can it be, right?
I feel like the cringiest thing I ever had somebody point out to me, you know that jump he used to do all the time, right? When he would jump on stage?
Oh, yeah, with and his belly hangs out and shit.
Do you know why he does that fucking jump?
Why?
He's making a fucking X.
Oh my God.
And if you go and look at picture after picture, I'm like, oh my God.
How do you know that?
Somebody emailed me like, bro, look at like, there's like 10 pictures. He's trying to make the X when he jumps. And I'm like, oh, fuck. That's why he looks so fucking goofy. But his kid, that one with the weird name, he calls him X. That was the first letter. He bought that X domain in like 97 and he renamed Twitter X and SpaceX. And he's like a retard. He's like an actual retard.
Yeah, just one of these like people that like thinks they're God, dude. Like, you know what I mean?
I was gonna talk to Joe Rogan on More Gamer Shit. He's like, yeah, pro gamers should like everybody that does surgery should learn how to play pro games because he said they have a 20 millisecond reaction time. And it's like reaction time for humans is like, I think 120 is the theoretical max because that's how long it takes for the ion channels to like 10, 20 milliseconds. Like to even say that you've never played a game in your life because it's impossible to react to anything. Like, he's just so.
He'll talk about things that he doesn't know about in an authoritative manner, and then anyone that actually knows what the fuck they're talking about, like, what the hell is this guy talking about? But it's so nuanced that only a small group of people will know about it to call him out on it. And then if you do call him out on it, you're like, oh, shut the fuck up.
But then
like,
that was the issue because he jumped into so many different topics. When he was talking about Twitter, he's like, yeah, some an actual software dev hopped on and he was like, we need to redo the whole Twitter stack. And the guy's like, what do you mean when you say that? He's like, well, we need to redo all of it. And the guy's like, what part of it don't you like? And he's like, well, you know, the whole thing. And he's like, walk me through it top to bottom, Elon. And he's like, get this asshole out of the call. You have no clue what he's talking about.
Dude, I don't know why he keeps like having him on. Like he's just fucking but yeah, he's a fraud, dude. Like Greg Reese like did a whole thing on him, like exposing like everything that he did is like other people did the work and just comes in and takes credit for it.
Have you seen the videos of some people in like these self-driving cars where they like stop in the middle of the intersection? It's like, oh, I guess we have to get out now because they I think it was in Austin. They started trying the Tesla self-driving.
Oh yes, yeah. That's fucking retarded, man. Yeah, everything is cooked. But I like, again, as critical as I am of him, I know why he has a right to be pissed off with the whole Trump thing, like with the big beautiful bill, because like he put all this time and money into Doge, didn't get paid for it, lost hundreds of billions of dollars in net worth, and boom, like nothing to show for it.
Yeah,
literally nothing to show for it. Investors all pissed off. You got to go back to work and work a full work week, like. Yeah, cooked.
I know you mentioned video games. You guys disagree strongly on video games. Last time you came on the show, you said you got to make $100K a year to start playing video games as a man.
Yeah, I don't think a guy should even bother with playing video games unless he's making 6 figures a year. Because like you're not making 6 figures a year and you're over. You have too much free time. You need to make at least 6 figures before you play any video games.
Do you agree with that?
No, I think you should life has to be a balance. Some people are designed to fucking grind. I remember the first time I went to the fucking Fresh and Fit studio. This fucking autistic retard. He's walking around like every camera adjusting everything, and I'm like, he's got like the grind. Like this guy will stay up like 16 hours a day learning whatever he needs to learn. But for a lot of people, you need like a little bit of free time. The problem with gaming is just it's a thing that's easy to overindulge in.
Right.
And like if you're playing, you know, like 8 hours a day and you're doing whatever.
And that's the problem because it's a slippery slope, dude. Like they don't have the discipline to go out and work. So like, do you think they're gonna have the discipline to be like, oh, you know, I've been playing for like 20 hours. Let me like get up and do something. It's like, no, make the money first, learn the discipline there. Then like you can go out and play video games. Yeah. I mean, I think a bit, this will actually add to your argument here. Like the reason why so many guys like struggle with women is because they're fucking losers. Like, let's be honest here. Like they're not achieving what they need to achieve. And, you know, again, though I'm critical of feminism and women being hoes and everything else like that, you know, a big part of it is like, well, I got to make my own money because a lot of guys are fucking losers. So
sure,
that's why, because dudes are lazy.
Yeah.
So
and it's hard nowadays. Like we don't talk about it as much, but when it comes to technology, like the issue today is like you are competing like this show, everything else, you are competing with everything else in the world at all points in time because of the phone, right? Everything you do, you have to be able to capture somebody's attention away from a game, from a phone, from whatever else. And it's hard without, you have to discipline yourself at an early age to not be sucked into that, because video games are designed, it's like gambling almost, like it's optimally designed to suck
And they're
as
worse
much time
now.
away.
They're,
Yeah, of course,
they're way
you finish
worse
like
now.
a Call of Duty game, and it's like, I just got 47 experience towards this gun, and I got 27 battle points towards my past, and I got 48 things through here, and I got to queue up to the next fucking game, and it's like,
I'm playing Marvel vs. Rivals, like, I can see why people get addicted to it or whatever.
yeah.
But I always play it like after I'm done streaming and everything, and I'll play it on stream, so it's like makes sense.
Sure.
So like I set up like little things here to make sure I don't like fuck myself up.
Yeah, you guys monetize it when you play video games.
Yeah, I do it. Yeah, like if I'm
But
gonna
even
play.
if not, like I view games are kind of like drugs. I think drugs are like good, like it's like a recreational like enhancement thing. But if it becomes like habitual, it's not good. Like I don't think there's anything bad about it. If you want to smoke weed on the weekend, or if you're hanging out with friends or whatever, that's one thing. But if you're doing something every single day and it's like part of your routine, that can get really scary, I think. Yeah.
So let me ask you this: what are your views on like feminism now?
Probably
general.
the same as they were before, except I hate women a little bit more now. So
You
all I
want
say is when I hook up with a chick, I'll be like, "Did you vote Trump or somebody
Would you
else?"
agree that women suck
And if
at
they
most?
vote- if they
Would
voted
you
for
agree
Trump,
that
then
women
I'm
suck
saying-
at most things then?
The women suck at most things. I probably would, but I'd also say men suck at most things. So
Okay, well, I think women suck at most things. It's give you credit. All the girls that try to do what you do, they suck at what they suck.
when I hang out with progressive women, usually they like the fact that I'm more aggressive or masculine coded or whatever in my demeanor. When I hang out with conservative women, though, they're like, I like somebody who's not like a fucking loser, because like conservative guys will say like all these women are sluts and hoes and shit. But it's like if you're a conservative woman and you walk into an area and you're like, okay, well, where are all these like good conservative men who are working hard, saving themselves, like doing all this other shit? You can't find them either. So like we all deserve each other.
Yeah, well, I mean, well, it's a fine because a lot of guys like subscribe to the whole feminist ideology, egalitarianism, whatever. So I think that's a big problem for women, because on one end they want to be strong and independent and be their own woman, but at the same time it's like, well, I want a guy that's going to have conservative values, and like unfortunately the two are difficult to mesh together, because like a guy that's conservative, that's more traditional, typically isn't going to want a girl that's more independent and believing in feminism and
Maybe if
egalitarianism.
the Orthodox APAC people buy out the whole government, they can push us towards a more traditional lifestyle.
Well, they won't accept any of us. We're all goyim to them. Like they're gonna be like, we got to end them all. So it is what
Myron,
it is.
could you be with a liberal, and Destiny, can you be with a conservative, dating wise?
Like a real relationship or just
Real relationship.
nah?
It's
like,
a deal breaker for you.
I wouldn't be able to, because like she would think she's equal to me, and I have to remind her all the time that she's inferior.
It really depends on like
I'm glad that Destiny's more red pill a lot of women though. This is fucking like you don't understand how excited I am.
It really depends on I think on where the disagreements are. Like I think there are some things that you can get over, and there are some things that you probably can't. Like if you've got somebody who's genuinely massively pro trans with somebody who's like massively like super racist or something, I don't know. Like these people are probably not going to get along meaningfully. And then it depends on how far you go in the relationship too. Like I could be with somebody probably who's like Christian or religious, but like if we were to have kids, that would get a lot harder, because it's like
Right.
like how so
Kids
I don't know, it depends. I don't think you need, if you need 100% ideological alignment with your partner, I think that's a problem. You should be able to have some disagreements, but it's going to have to be certain types of disagreements. Like some are irreconcilable and others are, yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, like again, small disagreements here and there, but yeah, I think in general, the man's worldview has to prevail over the woman's worldview, and or she, let's say she doesn't have those worldviews when you guys first meet. At some point, she's got to be amenable to change her mind, because I think if the woman's worldview dominates the relationship, you're cooked. That's what I think.
I disagree. I think
you disagree with that?
I think there's going to be a meet in the middle, but I mean,
You think meeting in the middle is the way to go?
probably, yeah.
So my only problem with like meeting in the middle, maybe it's because I'm a raging misogynist, I don't know. I think women are inferior to men. So I don't think like, and when I say this, I mean it like from a relationship paradigm, like not from a human rights perspective, but like from a relationship paradigm. Like I look at it like if she's the authority and she's the one leading the relationship, it's just inevitably going to lead to problems. Whereas like if it's your frame, like it's more natural for it to follow you. Does that make sense? So like versus.
I mean, it depends on, real quick, when are we supposed to be out of here?
We got 6 minutes.
Okay.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, when it comes to like
This might be opening up a can of worms then.
Yeah. It has to be grounded out in examples. Like I don't agree with that like leading the relationship thing, because I think that different people lead in areas depending on where they excel at. So for instance, like like a man might be leading in terms of like, you know, he works a certain job, and so he's going to dictate the family schedule, maybe even like where you live to some extent if he's got to move for work. But like, I seriously doubt the man is going to be like telling the woman, this is the grocery list. You need to buy these things for the household. Or you need to do this, or like you have to make sure they go to school and all that. Like the woman will be like a leader in that area. Of course. Like in areas where you butt heads, I would be surprised if a relationship survives very long if there's like a constant like one person wants this and the other person's like, no, we're doing this, bitch.
Let me clarify, because yes, you're correct. My position is anything significant that needs to be done, the man needs to be the main decision maker. And then, like, I see what you're saying, like delegate authority. She does this, she does that, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, like she's operating like when she's grocery shopping, I'm buying the food that my husband likes and the kids like. I'm buying what, you know, what he likes. So though she is the one making
like, the
the
man
decision.
is like, I'm earning the money that my family likes to fucking spend. You know, come on. Like, I mean,
yeah, that's your duty as the man, is to support the family. But like my thing is, I think the general frame of the relationship has to be controlled by the man.
I'm curious, like, what is like one, like, give me an example of like a big disagreement issue on that? Because for a lot of these, I would view these as being basically relationship enders if you have a significant disagreement here.
Okay, so like when you say that, you mean as in like, what would, like if I disagreed on this, I wouldn't fuck with her at all?
What? No, like if a man and a woman, where the woman has to follow the man's lead on something they disagree on, like what would be an example issue like that? Where it's both in their domain, where they both have a strong opinion on it, but the woman eventually has to acquiesce to the man. Like, what would an example topic be for that?
Oh yeah, sure. Politics. Like
does it tell how she votes, or
like well, women? I don't think women should. But that was actually on the list. I don't think women should vote. I know you probably disagree with that.
Probably. Yeah.
I think we should repeal the 19th Amendment. But and I can give my position why. But like for example, if she like doesn't align with you politically or ideologically, like on certain cultural things, like that's a deal breaker. Like if she, you know, like if she's like a raging Democrat, right, and you're a conservative, like that's probably going to create problems for you in the future.
But these would probably be deal breakers to date, period.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah, like she's got to be on her frame.
Issue where it's like the woman strongly believes one thing and the man strongly believes another. Like, let's say that like you've got family in Arkansas, family in Nebraska, and you guys live in Iowa, and it's like, okay, 50-50, we need to figure out where we want to move, and one side's just like, we're going here or it's over. Like, I don't think there's ever a world where it's like, oh, the woman's like, okay, yeah, we'll go live with your family. I agree with that 100%. Like,
yeah, I would think the man needs to make the decision there. But the thing is that when he picks where to move, 9 out of 10 times it's going to be because of where he works, right? So like it's for the betterment of the family.
That's what I'm trying to think of. Like when you say the woman follows the man, like on what issue? Like what is like a thing they could have a disagreement on where she
wouldn't follow him?
Where she has to follow him.
Where she has to?
Because it feels like everything that you're following the man on, the husband's going to be following the woman on, like on the things that she's doing, and then she's following him on the things that he's doing. Like where are these disagreements? Does that make sense what I'm saying?
I'm a little confused by
Okay, when you say the woman has to follow the man,
yeah.
The implication is that both of them might have an opinion on the same thing, but the woman has to acquiesce to the man's opinion on it. So I'm asking, like, what topic could that ever be?
Well, she's also following because she has the same worldvie too.
Okay,
it's not like she's like, oh my God, like it's not like dragging her
in the same path. Then you're not really,
yeah. Like she agrees with the worldview, which is why it's so much easier for her to follow. But let's say there is to answer your question, let's say there's a discrepancy in worldview. At the end of the day, even if she doesn't like it, she's got to follow him. Is my position.
Sure. I'm just curious,
versus
like,
the other way around.
Example, like what worldview, like what topic, subject, thing?
It could be argue. Okay, let's say they both have a job, right?
Yeah.
Like my job is here, your job is here. We got to move though because I make more money here. She needs to follow the man, even though, and be willing to sacrifice her career for him.
I would agree with what you say there, but there was an important added thing that you put there, which is because he makes more money. So like, do you think that the same thing would follow? Let's say a guy's working, he's 40-50K a year, and she's doing some nice HR job, she's making 120 a year, and the guy's like, I've got an opportunity to make 60,000 a year, we got to move. Does the woman be like, yeah?
Well, this is where I come in, where I say
women shouldn't have more money than.
Yeah, you need to make more money than your girl. So like that wouldn't even happen in my worldview because it's like you need to make enough money. My position is you need to make so much goddamn money where she works off of wanting to do it, and it's a job where it's from home, so it's elective. I don't think women should be in the workplace when she's with you. From a position where she has to. It needs to be elective. And I think whenever a woman makes more money than her man, it just creates problems.
Okay. I disagree, but it's a whole, obviously.
That's a whole other episode.
Yeah, that is a whole. I mean, we could do a part 2 on that if you want. We could do a feminism or relationship debate if you want.
Well, have fun with your anti-Trump tour and have fun on the streets of Miami.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Destiny, it's always good talking to you.
Yeah, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it.